Hey, what's up, everybody? Colin here, joined by my lovely, beautiful, attractive co-host, Jamie. What's up, buddy?
Thank you for the nice introduction.
I was trying to think of all the nice things I can say.
Well, I feel like I have to say about my lovely, beautiful ginger friend. There we go.
We're both so pretty. But yeah, speaking of pretty people, we've got somebody waiting in the wings. One of my favorite people waiting to join in. And guys, this is your chance if you'd like to join in. The link is posted in the members section of the YouTube channel. If you'd like to become a member, the link to do that is pinned to the top of the chat. Real quick, before we bring in our guest, I think it's time to say today's show, like all shows, is brought to you by Alloy Collectors. The link is above me, uk.alloycollectors.com. With our code 2sides, you can get one of these lovely metal 3D shirt kits for 15% off. They're really cool. I've been likening them to Funko Pops ever since Jose said that. I was like, you know what? He's right. They're a lot like a Funko Pop. Nice collectible, good for any Spurs fan or football fan in your life. They've got them for most teams, so make sure you check out Alloy Collectors. And with that said, let's bring him to the stage. Everybody, it's Adrian Stroka. What's up, Adrian?
Hang on. Am I there or not?
You're here. You're in.
Yeah.
I've got to shut a few things down.
Oh, no worries, buddy.
All right. Okay. I'm here now.
It's that time of year, guys. Adrian's got the robe on.
The robe is back.
It's a different robe. I haven't never seen that one, though.
One of four. This is a thin one. I've got two thin ones and two winter ones.
Okay.
Sort of the autumn and spring, you know what I mean, number. The autumn and spring number, like, you know what I mean?
The spring collection. Yeah, of course.
The spring collection.
You're looking great, as always, buddy. I'm just bigging up everybody right now and their looks. But
have you, Peter Cahagas, isn't he? Great friend of many shows. Have you promoted the show in the WhatsApp groups?
I haven't. I have not done.
I
probably ought to. I could probably get that done.
Hi, AJ. Good to see you, mate.
Well, AJ's here too. AJ, we got to get you the link, buddy. He says, "Good evening, fellas. Hope you're both good. Big up, Adrian. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Look at this. Love you, Adrian. Pete is showing the love today.
Someone likes me.
Okay, well, good to see you, Pete. Thanks again for gifting those memberships the other day. Haven't forgotten, buddy. Truly appreciate it. And you're a member too, meaning that you're probably working, but the link is out there on the members section of the channel. If you would like to come on and have your say, look at this. We got Daniel Coy's in the house. That's somebody else who needs the link. Jamie,
I've just done the YouTube on the WhatsApp.
Oh, okay, cool, nice. I'll go ahead and I'll post it here too. I'll post it everywhere, here, there, and everywhere. Anybody's welcome, especially if we know you and have seen you before. That also really helps. But there is another link, guys. No excuse not to be here if you want to be here. The link is out and about. Ian Meth, look at this. He says it's at 8:15. No, 10:15.
No, 8:15. They're an hour in front of BST.
My military time shit. But look at this. Ian Meth is here. Are you going to jump on? If you can jump on, Ian, that would be lovely. We'd love to have you. But yeah, so Adrian, I was going to say before we get started, I'm not sure you and Jamie are super well acquainted. This is Jamie. Jamie and I used to do YouTube stuff together almost 2 years ago now, and we have reformed. We've re-come together for more action. So
I was going to say there's a lot of channels rebranding because I saw Kate. Is it Kate? Girl Talk Spurs. She's rebranding as well.
You sound a little muffled, buddy.
Do I? Oh, let me jump out and come back in because it might be my thing.
No worries. No, it's switched to a different input. So
okay.
Come back in. We'll have you in. No problem. And speaking of somebody coming out and coming back in, as soon as you leave, look who's here. It's AJ. What's up, AJ?
Hey guys, how's things?
Things are things, man. Things are things. But what about you? How's life with you, bro?
Oh god, this past week and a half has been absolutely manic. I haven't stopped. It's been one thing after another. All good things, but yeah, it's just I haven't even had time to scratch my ass. I've literally been from pillar to post, just non-stop. But yeah,
well, that's good, it's. You don't want to scratch your ass too much. Your hand starts to smell, and it's not good. But no, dude, it's really good to have you. I'm glad you got some time to jump on and hang out with us.
Oh, that's appreciated. Nowhere else I'd rather be, except for with Adrian, of course. Adrian is a fine gentleman.
I don't think he's too bad. You know, I used to not be so sure about him. My wife was like, "Don't hang out with that guy. He's trouble." Just kidding, of course. But no, it's very good.
As you say in America, oh shucks.
Oh shucks. You're good. You're learning your Americanisms. I'll try to throw some English isms in as well. Destiny 5 is in the house saying big up everyone. Big up Destiny. The link is in the chat if you would like to join. Same to you. Who was it? Daniel, link's in there, bud. Ian Met says, first Oasis, now you. Can the year get worse? Oh man. Look at that. And Jamie is back, I think. Yes, Jamie.
Yeah, is it better now?
No. If you go to settings and you go to audio in the mic, I think your mic might have defaulted back to like your laptop microphone.
Okay, how about now?
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got you.
Stupid thing. Oh, but now it's got rid of my camera.
Oh, I can still see you.
We can see.
No, but I don't like this one.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll let you get that fixed up. Oh yeah, beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful, bright, looking good. Destiny 5 says everything in the universe is safe when the dressing gown is on. Look at that, Adrian. You've become very well known for your robes. AJ jumped off, but he'll probably be back. That's how he works.
Yeah. Mysterious.
Pete's saying Ian's living the good life. So wait, Ian, did you go see Oasis? Did Oasis play today? Am I missing something, guys? I don't even know. Jamie, maybe you know. Did Oasis play today?
I have no idea. I'm not a big fan of Oasis, to be fair. So
Wow. All right. Well, it looks like
don't really like them that much.
It looks like they played. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But let us know, Ian.
The clue is in what you said. It's 2015 in Spain. Can't stay long, bud.
Spain. Maybe they played in Spain. Good question. Good thinking. Well, guys, welcome to Two Sides of the Pitch podcasts. We're your hosts, Colin and Jamie and Adrian today. And you guys will probably see the thumbnail because you clicked it. It's we want to talk about where we are kind of 7 games into Ange's second season. I put a poll in the chat. I'll have to check on that in just a bit, see how everybody is voting. But Adrian, I haven't had a chance to talk the match with you, and I don't want to beat this into the ground. I don't want to get all negative and dark and depressing. But what are your thoughts on the match the other day? I mean, obviously it wasn't.
Well, it was bitterly disappointing to lose after playing so well in the first half, wasn't it?
Exactly.
But the initial thing is you then get the fans' reaction because it was a defeat after starting so well and dominating the first half. And I was thinking we were going to go on and win 3-4 or 5-0. You had some response. You get a lot of knee-jerk reactions when you get, which is understandable when you get a result like that. And a lot of fans were saying, "Oh, we should have made our substitutions after the first goal." No, I don't agree with that. Like, you're a few minutes into the first half, you're 2-1 up, winning the game. So you're winning the game, so there's no need to panic. But when 10 minutes later, on a 58th minute, when they score the second, and a defense is absolutely atrocious, by the way, I'm sure we'll come to that. But when they scored the second, then I think Ange did make a mistake. It's easy to be a hindsight pundit and critic, but I thought Ange did make a mistake. Then he should have then made a change. He should have made a change. I mean, if you look at the game, and what gets me is the players' tactical awareness and football IQ. Things aren't going well, right? Would Harry Kane have stayed up front, or would he have dropped back in midfield, dropped back to help the defence?
We know the answer. He would have dropped back for sure.
He would have dropped back. Yeah. So players, if you've got a system, it doesn't mean you've got to stay rigidly on the wing or stay at centre forward or stay in any position. If you see something going wrong or we're under pressure here, right? Well, become more involved in the game. Drop back. And like players didn't, right? They didn't. I mean, like Maddison was non-existent. Our 2 fullbacks were both at fault. it depends on what phase you want to blame someone for being at fault of goal. You could blame your doggy for not clearing the ball for the cross comes into Porro. Sorry, when before the cross came into you doggy. And that goal should have been an easy clearance. Let's be fair. You either put your body in a way before even swing the boot. At least the ball would hit you and probably take it forward. And the second goal, the cutting again. You doggy makes a passive attempt from behind the player, but VDV should have done better with that. And we haven't seen VDV in a mid block or low block. He's not really been tested. His positional players not really been tested in that area of the pitch. And then for the third goal, Bentancur should have got to the byline quicker. He was too slow to react, to be proactive. And if you want to be cruel, because people have had pops at Romero lately about his concentration or whatever, then you can say, well, that ain't Bentancur's fault. You could then blame Romero because when the cross comes in, he wasn't here well back when the header goes in. But the defending was shocking. How to throw a game, the defending was absolutely shocking, and you then got to pick the bones out, and it's hard to pick the bones out, and you got to be brave. We went on. You got to be brave to do a post-match podcast when you lose. They're always the hardest podcast to do. Right?
Definitely.
But do I blame Ange for it? I would say my critique of Ange would be too late substitutions, even though they made little impact when they came on, even if it was for 15 minutes, whatever it is. They didn't do much. Even Mikey Moore, I'm a big fan of, right? But I think he made them on the hour mark.
Yeah, he wasn't given near enough time, in my opinion.
Come on, right?
3 minutes, pathetic.
Whether prior to the game or this season you think Ange is the man for the job or not, I do. I'm fully Ange in, right? But whether you do or not, right, it wasn't his fault we lost that game. The players were on the pitch. They let in 3 goals and a 2-goal lead. The players. Ange, all right, it wasn't down Ange. If you look at it coldly and I deal with facts, the defending was atrocious.
It was. But my question is, and I did a watch along for the match. I couldn't do a post-match stream. I had to work straight after, which, let me tell you, going to work sucks enough as it is. But when you've got a United fan you work with, we got a British guy. I don't know how he ended up here. I've never talked to him about it. But we've got an English fella that I work with who's a big United fan, who was quick to rub it in my face that we threw the lead away. I have been giving him some trouble about United's recent results.
The United fan can't say shitty.
He did. He definitely did. It's never easy. But yeah, so during the match, Chang and I were crying out for 2 subs to be made. But the most important one, and I think the one that would have maybe kind of helped and cut out a lot of this, and I'll ask Adrian what you think, and AJ, of course, but did you guys see Matoma just absolutely cooking Pedro Porro down their left on the inside? It's like, we all know that the defending isn't the strongest point of Porro's game, but it seemed like he was having an especially hard time tracking Matoma. Matoma was, kind of doing whatever he wanted over there. I think the Jed Spence, like I said, hindsight's easy, but during the game even, I was saying Jed Spence should come on for Pedro Porro. I think Jed Spence has played amazingly well this season, when he's been given the opportunity, mostly on the left, of course, but, he's naturally a right-sided player. Do either of you guys, AJ, Adrian, we'll start with Adrian, but do you think that would have made much difference?
No, not really. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure Ange believes in Jed Spence. And if not, then we've got to look for a right back in January. And what this game has shown is what we knew at the end of the transfer window, that we've got a gaping hole at left back that needs filling. We need cover for your doggy. But I'll go on and talk about that. But on Jed Spence, I'm not sure. I know Ian likes him, Ian Meth likes him. I know other fans that like him and all that. I'm undecided on him. I really am, because, first and foremost, you're a defender. I was a bit like that with wing-backs. If wing-back means you're being absolved of defensive responsibilities, I don't think it's my team. But he looks good whenever he's got the ball and going forward, Spence. But I've not really seen him defend. glimpse.
I'm dropping things. Sorry about that.
And with the Porro thing, you to me, he's looks a bit more like the sort of Trent Alexander of our team, doesn't he? I mean, like Liverpool fans are, they're okie cokey with him. They're half in and half out. And they say, oh, yeah, he's good, great. And he has a great pass for the ball like Porro's and all that. They say, well, he's not too good defensively. Well, the only time you're going to say that is when you lose a game. If Porro's pretty poor, but we still win, you paper over the cracks, no one notices. Porro, I think he's always going to be what he is, which is a very good footballer, as is Trent Alexander. I think you're going to have to live with that. His stats are still excellent, for a right back in this Premier League. He's probably the tops. I don't know, So, but too many errors on the same day. Normally you'd get away with it. We didn't, and it exposed us. VDV. I look at his positional play at times, and but you look at a player that's developing, that's young.
22, right? 22 years old.
But you look at Udogie, he's young, right? He's going to make mistakes. He had an awful game towards the end of last season. He was poor towards the end of last season. He's come back from an injury, not had a proper pre-season, right? He's not had a proper pre-season. He's come back. I see signs of him getting better. At Man United, he looked to have his mojo back, and then he has a stinker against Brighton, right? So, and the problem was he's had a stinker. Porro weren't that great, and we combined with all these defensive errors, and you then try to define where you want to, in what play you want to blame a person, when it can be a combination of factors, But fans will blame the player they don't like rather than the player that's necessarily at fault, So that's natural as well. Yeah. So. I said it at the end of the transfer. We need a left back, whether it's a Bradley Locker or a Dogu, the players in France, plays for French under-21s. I don't know. They'll have a list. They know they've got to fill the left back spot. Unless Doric can play at left back as well as left centre back. But we'll see. Alfie Doric, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point too. I kind of had forgotten about him, to be honest. AJ, I'll throw that question to you real quick, though. So we all saw Matoma was having kind of the time of his life over there, was free to do pretty much whatever he liked. Do you think a Jed Spence for Pedro Porro substitution would have helped to quell the leakiness we had down that left-hand side?
Maybe. In hindsight, it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Thinking about what we could have, should have done and who would have been best in that position. The fact is, our in-game management was terrible. We were 2-0 up. We were coasting relatively. Not that Brighton didn't have chances in the first half. They did. The warning signs were there. But in the second half...
that time that all why can't I think Welbeck had to do was just have turn it on goal.
Absolutely. Beautiful ball across.
Outside of the boot cross. That it was beautiful. I was
still do not know how Welbeck missed that, but the warning signs were there. Brighton, when they are up for it, when they are going at full tilt, are a very, very good side. We know this. The players came out in the second half and they looked like they couldn't give a shit. Not one of them looked like they were working, putting in a shift. The defence were all at 6s and 7s. They didn't know what was going on, all over the place. What would have helped is if Porro had have had some protection, as if your man playing wide right, Johnson, had come back and helped, protected him a bit. That didn't happen. There was no protection, so he was overrun. He's not the best defensively. And it happened time and time again. Matoma is an absolutely quality footballer. You cannot afford somebody like that time and space. You cannot, once he's got the best of you and his confidence up, you cannot allow him to keep, something has to be done. The manager can do and say what he wants from the touchline, but the onus is on the players on the pitch to knuckle down, sort themselves out and manage the game while it's happening, yeah? This is the thing. We saw a lot of over-the-top reaction. Reaction in the instance, yeah, after the game is fine. We're all at reactionary, aren't we? We're all pissed off or elated, depending on the result. But when you've had time to calm down and you're still chatting the same rubbish, still spilling the same rhetoric, how it's only Ange to blame, Ange. You don't rate him as a manager, so Ange is the problem. Ange can't do this. Ange is inept. Actually, let's look at it, right? Let's look at it objectively. Should Ange have made earlier subs? Yes, he should have. Did he bring off the right people? Questionable. But at the end of the day, there are 11 fully grown adult professional athletes on that pitch that need to be held accountable for their actions. Guess what? All the blame goes to Ange. And then after we've blamed Ange, we think about how bad maybe the footballers were. They're all to blame. They all need to stand up and be held accountable for their part in that shit show. Because that's what that second half was. That second half was absolutely unacceptable by any stretch of the imagination.
A shit show is a very good way to describe it. Yes.
People going, it's the tactics. It's the tactics. The tactics are to blame. Where were these tactics to blame when we were winning, scoring 3, not conceding? When we went on a run 4 or 5 games where we were on top, using the same tactics. Stop spilling the same rubbish rhetoric time and time again. Stop turning out the same rubbish spewing that you've heard other people say, because it doesn't what? Was Ange to blame? Yes, he was. He's the manager. The buck stops with him. Should the players on the pitch be doing more? Absolutely, they should.
Yeah, AJ, I totally agree. I mean, is he gone?
Yeah, he does that sometimes. He'll probably be back.
Yeah, I mean, like, where's the football IQ and tactical awareness, right, of players, right? You may be playing to a system, right? Something goes wrong. Why aren't you acting decisively? Why aren't you dropping back? Why aren't the fullbacks dropping back? Even Solanke wasn't dropping back. Would Harry Kane have stayed upfield if he saw things going wrong? No, he comes back to help out the team, right? Where's the awareness? We're going for a sticky patch first half. 1 goal down, not a problem. 2-1, we're still winning the game. We could go on and win the game 2-1. You just got to weather the storm, get stuck in, demoralise the opposition by getting stuck in so as they're struggling, and take the game away from them completely, because they're going to try and come at you and you can try and pick them off and you'll get more space to play through the lines. But we didn't. We crumbled. And this isn't the first time. And I said this 2 seasons ago. The problem with us is we're very good. We're flat-track bullies. When things are going well, right, we can blast teams away like we did in the first 10 games of last season. All right, we had a lot of adversity last season. We had injuries, suspensions, blah, 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 and everything hits us. We was hit by a perfect storm, but still finished 5th, right? But when things did go wrong last season, we were bringing on a Skip or a Højbjerg to try and shore things up, right?
Right.
Now, to me, I would have brought Basuma on. He's the more experienced player after the second goal went in. I would have brought him on, right, and took Maddison off, because Maddison is not going to dig you out of a hole. So who's going to dig you out of a hole? Who's got bite or what? I'd even bring on Gray, or Sark at last knockings, right?
Right.
Yeah. And take players off just to shore it up, right? Because things aren't going on. We are away from home at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So it just. We just crumble because we are flaky in that way. We're good footballers on our day. We can go and crash the best teams, but when it comes to digging in, we're not capable of digging it in. And we've seen it last year when lesser teams have come and they put extra bodies in midfield and they've overrun us. When we played good against the best teams and the lesser teams would give us loads of problems. Now that is a problem that's got to be solved. And okay, you can play the expansive football. That's fine, right? If it's working throughout the game, fine. When it starts to crumble or fail, that's when your manager should act. And on that second goal going in, not the first one. It was only 10 minutes late to the second one. But when the second goal goes in, Ange should have made transfers. And his press conference, half I liked, half I thought was crap, right, to be honest.
I don't feel like he gets himself out. I don't think he gets his point out across particularly well.
No, he was bristling. He was upset. He was angry. He said a few things like, when he said, I don't want to win falsely and all that. Well, that is just utter bullshit. because
we've won
falsely
already.
against Coventry, right?
Yeah,
And we dug in. Well, were we unhappy with that? Oh, we won falsely. We should be sad. No, I celebrate every win. No, so he's bristling, right? He's angry. He probably don't know what to say properly. I get it. It's straight after a game you've lost. Somewhere you've got to defend your players, but at least he was right to give it to them. Then let's not throw them under the bus. He was right to give it to them.
You got to be honest. I think there's a certain amount of honesty. And Dan, welcome, Daniel. How are you, sir?
Yeah, evening, everyone. Everyone good?
Yeah, we're good. We're like everybody else. We're licking our wounds and looking forward and trying to see what's next. But yeah, man. I've been asking everybody the same question, and so I'll ask you as well. During the first half, when it was clear that Matoma was just getting so much joy down their left, our right-hand side, would you have subbed Jed Spence in for Pedro Porro? Well, first of all, I guess it comes down to whether you think that Jed Spence is the better defender than Pedro Porro. I think defender is the best attribute. But what were you going to say, mate?
That's literally what I was just about to say, mate, because that's not Spence's best attribute either. Defensively, he does get caught out of position quite a lot as well. So Porro's definitely a weak link when it comes to getting targeted, especially in a position. But he's too good at times going forward compared to Spence. That's something he's definitely got over Spence as well. So I wouldn't see much of a difference if you put Spence there to Porro. But what I was about to say about players to blame or the manager, I'm sorry, when you're 2-0 up and you at half time and you lose 3-2, this is 50% on the players and 50% on the manager. The manager, I told you yesterday, Colin, the manager has 3 chances to make an impact on this team. 1, the team talk, 1, the tactics, and 1, the substitutions he makes off the bench. The team talk, we were 2-0 up at half time, We were 2-0 up at half time. We conceded the first 3 minutes of the second half. So the players were lazy in what Ange's instructions were at half time. What Ange's half time team talk was not good enough. That's part 1. Part 2 was, I'm not going to blame the tactics for that, but I'm going to look at the tactics a little bit, because when it got to 2-1 and we started getting under the cosh, having Kulu and Madison in the midfield together, when you're chasing, when you're under the cosh, is not particularly the right midfield to have. It's all right when you're 3-0 up at Old Trafford or you're 4-0 up at home to Everton. When you're under the cosh, I'm not 100% sure. I think you should have took one of them off at 2-1. Not Kulu, I don't think. Definitely Madison. And number 3,
Kulu's more of a drafter. Yeah.
And number 3, I don't care what anyone says. He's sitting there watching the collapse happen in front of his eyes, and he's not making a substitute until we go 3-2 down. That is on him. I don't get that. What any fan who wants to stick up for him and say, "Oh, it's all on the players." As a manager, you have a chance to make an impact on the game. And you're watching a game go the other way, and you do not make a substitute until the game has gone the other way, and it's gone to 3-2 to Brighton. That happened all in a 16-minute span, It happened quite quickly, but you could quite clearly see something was going wrong, And he waited until the 78th minute, and he brought on 2 defensive-minded midfielders in Pakisar and Basuma when we're chasing the game. He should have brought one of them on at 2-1 when we're still winning the game. That's why I don't at times, his substitutions to me are strange, which goes to his in-game management at times. Is strange. But obviously, the players have to take a lot of blame for that as well, because you don't go from that performance in the first half to that performance in the second half just like that, without putting a lot of the blame on the players. But he's a manager, has an opportunity to make an impact on the game when he can make a difference with his subs. And he did not make a difference with his subs. He watched a 31. I don't know how old the Brighton manager is. Is he 31, 32? I know he's younger than me. I'm 34.
Jesus Christ, he's that young.
He's the youngest manager in the Premier League.
That's crazy.
He's watched the manager that's nearly broke. Ange's got over 20 years of management experience on him, and he's watched a Brighton manager making subs when he's already winning the game, when he's chasing the game, Why Ange's just standing there with his hands in his pocket, just watching it happen. I'm sorry, that was not acceptable. Like, he's supposed to be like, we're supposed to say this is for the bigger picture, We're supposed to take defeats. Like this, it's all for the bigger picture. But he's a manager. He's still chasing results. He can't just keep saying, "Oh, this is for we can take these defeats because 2 years down the line it's going to be better." Well, if he keeps losing, if he keeps throwing away games like that, if he throws away games like this, he won't be in the job in 14 months' time.
In fairness, though, Dan. It's not Ange's fault. It went to 2-2 when I think he should have made substitutes at 2-2.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Ange's fault then. It was the players. Lack of tactical awareness and footballing IQ.
I understand it, mate.
Like AJ alluded to earlier, you know, on our left-hand side, you look at very attacking, Porro, Johnson, and Kulu. Now, normally, the surprise was, in games even last season, Kulu would come back and help Porro out. He was would help out defensively. And that didn't seem to happen. You know, we lost cohesion. Johnson, well, you know that he's not. I mean, Werner's got more chance of helping you out. He will track back, but Johnson's not that. So, okay, if in these situations it should be drilled into player, okay, Johnson, you stay up there. But Solanke, you drop back like Harry Kane does. Werner, you drop back. We'll have the outlet in Johnson, hitting the ball out wide right. He'll be the outlet over the top wide right. If you're not sure, just hoof one ball out wide right, long ball right, because Johnson should be there or thereabouts if you can't see him, right? And then you bring Kulu comes back with Solanke. Kane would have come back in a situation like that, 12% out in midfield or at the back, you know. So until you weather the storm, and then like you build on your play again and get going again. But like it was a shambles. It was a shambles. And like, all right, that's the only thing I'll criticise Ange for is the late substitutions. In games he's got it right. This game, I don't think he got it right. Right? He didn't get it right. Yeah. Then you can question what subs come on. Like, you know, I agree with Basuma coming on personally, but yeah.
So, you know who we haven't heard much from so far, and that's Jamie. Jamie's quietly, I see him just taking it all in, just taking it all in. What do you think, man? So you didn't get to watch the match live, from what I understand, unfortunately, but you watched it back.
Stupid mistake that was.
Right, I know. You should have only watched the first half and then cut it off. But my question to you is the same as everybody else. I just want to know if you would have subbed in Jed Spence earlier. I was crying out for it. You can watch the watch along I did. I really, really wanted Jed Spence in far sooner than. Well, I mean, he didn't come on at all, but I would have liked Jed Spence to come on and help shore up the right-hand side with his pace. He could have kept up with Matoma, where it seemed like Pedro Porro was having an issue. But you can talk about whatever you like, man. Players to blame or the manager? What subs would you have made? I mean, what's up? What's up, Jamie? Let us know what you think.
I think the only thing that irritates me, like, I am Ange'S, like, but I'm slowly turning to Ange at the moment. The reason why is, like, we're 2-0 up, playing amazing football, which we've seen throughout the season, and then he's got a whole backroom staff who are watching the game because Ange's going to miss stuff. What the fuck are they doing? Clearly, they're not watching the game either because Matoma's ripping down. Porro's my favorite player. I love Pedro Porro, but if he's clearly getting beaten, people need to track back. I understand attacking football going, but you need to defend as well. I don't want to just be attacking because we're going to get caught out, and we are getting caught out so many times. It's 10 points out of 21. Was it? I saw someone say it's the worst in 15 years. That's relegation form football. It's shit. It's pissing me off because we've been here time and time again, and I'm just fed up with it. And it's just, I want Ange to succeed. Whoever comes in, like I saw someone put Tuchel in. I'm a big fan of Tuchel. I always have been. I know you're not, Colin.
Barf.
I've always been a big fan of him. I liked him at the PSG days, and but Ange's only at a club for over 2 to 3 years anyway. So, is it a real project for him? Is he going to be here? I don't think he's going to be here in 18 months, like Dan said. I reckon if we don't beat West Ham, he's going to be on the firing line. I reckon he'd be gone before Ten Hag because Spurs are brutally attacking people, aren't they? They don't care.
I agree. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. 1 second. I agree because Nuno, when he got sacked, lost 5 and won 5. And if you look at our record at the moment, I think we played 7. We've lost 3 already. He's heading towards the start that Nuno had in his first 10 games. And then he got the sack for that. Yeah, let's not.
Nuno's football was shit to watch. I mean, it didn't look like it was going to get any better under Nuno. I think that's maybe the difference.
And let's not hope for
but you can also look at it this way. Sorry, you can also look at it this way. Wolves have only got 1 point from 7 games. We haven't got that much more to them. So that's how bad it is. And they've played most of the big sides. So, like I said, I imagine I'll do everything we can. But if we lose to West Ham, which is a London derby at home, fans are quickly going to turn.
West Ham get off of that game as well.
Oh yeah, they love playing us.
Well, they were the first club to beat us at our stadium, weren't they? So
an obligatory fuck West Ham. Yeah, I'm not a big West Ham guy.
Yeah, but I hate West Ham more than Arsenal. The reason why, because I've got a lot of family at West Ham. It pisses me off.
Oh, really?
For them to beat us, it's going to wind me up even more.
I just hate how much they hate us. I don't understand why they consider us to be they're like arch rival. I get that we're both London teams. We're probably the London club that they're maybe closest to in terms of their development and where they're at as a team. Yo,
Colin, I say this to West Ham fans as well, mate. They try to make it sound they want us to be their arch rivals because they haven't got an arch rival. Our rivals are Arsenal with Chelsea, yeah. They and they're jealous. They want us to be their biggest rival. We look at it as like a third London rivalry in London for us. They look at us as their big arch rivals, and they don't like it. They take it offensively that we look at Arsenal and Chelsea as our two main derbies. West Ham's got derbies.
It's final every time they play us, though, isn't it? So
it's their big game obviously this season.
It is going to be a big game on next. Was it in 2 weeks? Because I hate international break, but that's going to be a really big game because you're going to hear boos if we go 1-0 down at halftime. It's going to turn toxic like it is.
But Adrian is somebody that's at the matches most of the time. Adrian is a season ticket holder and makes it to the matches. Adrian, from what I've heard, is that maybe perhaps like the YouTube community, the people that have the podcasts are harder on Ange than the players, or not the players, than the fans at the stadium. Is that something that you would corroborate? Would you say that's true?
Definitely. I haven't heard any. There hasn't been, but this is before this loss, rather. I mean, not a mention. He's not even a topic of conversation. They're all behind the team. They're all behind Brennan Johnson, singing his loud name and proud. You know, after you see on social media. I don't see anything myself because I don't go there. But I only go there to post, and I don't get involved in conversations usually in Facebook. I do in Facebook because in my group, but not in WhatsApp groups. I'll go in and give thumbs up and for videos and things like that, and post videos and stuff. But I don't get involved in the conversations there because I've seen it all before. I know the way they go, So I don't get involved as such. I let others get on with it. They're adults. If they lock horns and they argue amongst themselves, and then don't come crying to me, sort it out. No. I'm not. I won't have any of it. If people don't want to be in my group or on my Facebook group or in my WhatsApp group or anything like that, well then, if you don't like it, leave. I don't care. You're adults, right? Behave like adults, right? Yeah. If you can't have a mature and sensible debate, which is what Spurs Diehards are about, you're not really for us. Don't come. Don't be part of our content or whatever. But if you want a sensible and mature debate based on facts, I pride myself on facts and bringing information to the fan base and good quality content, then they're for you. Simple.
No, for sure. I agree, and we appreciate the work that you do, though, with the Facebook page, the WhatsApp groups. We all like hanging out there, I think, and reading, even if we don't get involved in conversations. If you're like me, I like to read, so yeah. A question I was going to ask, though, guys. So back to the match, Romero. Is Romero a good fit for this system? Because we all know he's a good defender. He plays great for Argentina. Jamie will be the first to tell you that with Argentina, there's a better supporting cast around him. He's got a better supporting cast. But what's the deal with him? Why does he keep falling asleep? Why does he keep leaving his man completely unmarked and free, usually on a corner? I mean, it's just weird. Does he need to sit a game? I'll phrase it that way. Would we be better off giving Dragic a start and having Dragic and VDV together and having Romero maybe bench for a match?
Do you want to answer this first?
Yeah.
I But I say, well, this is the reason why we signed Jackson in the first place, isn't it? Because if one of the defenders hits a bit of out of form, that's the reason why we've got a decent replacement in Jackson there in the first place. Like, he's not even going to get games when Romero's struggling. Then why is he even signed in the first place? Like, this is Romero's first couple of seasons, I criticised him quite a lot for his discipline at times, and like since then, he seems to have changed his. Like, he seems to have really improved his discipline, but now he's switching off too much. At times, especially like he's losing that little 2%, 3% of concentration. Yeah, and as a centre back, you can't afford to do that, especially in the Premier League. And like you get caught out like. But we all know Romero's a top quality defender. Yeah? He's a winner. The guy's got 2 Copa Americas and a World Cup. Yeah. But he had to play with like Otamendi and Sandro Martinez as his centre backs in Argentina. Yeah? So it's not exactly great, and he still managed to win tournaments there. So I don't know what it is. I just definitely think his head's been swayed a little bit by this Real Madrid stuff in the summer, and it always seems to happen with players whenever they seem to. Real Madrid put the feeders out a year before they go for a player.
Mm-hmm.
It's like into the agent's head that that's a destination that could possibly happen. And any player's dream, anyone knows any player's dreams to play for Barcelona or Real Madrid. Ronaldo went there, Bale went there, Modric went there, everyone. Henry went there. Anyone end up going to them 2 clubs when they know there's a possible chance they can go there. And I'm just thinking there. Yeah, we're watching Romero's last 12 months in the Spurs shirt, and we're watching a player gradually. Every more month go by, gradually not care, like gradually basically have his head out the door already and thinking about Madrid next summer. Because I've become a big Romero fan like towards some part of last season, and because he scored quite a lot of goals last season. I really criticised his discipline, and he improved his discipline. So I thought, well, yeah, he's a winner, but he has switched off too much this season. He's supposed to be our senior centre back.
Yeah, we made him co-captain or whatever. You know, he's one of the captains.
He's supposed to be the one. Like, if I look at the two, I think like, Van der Ben's like quick and everything. I think like Van der Ben would be the one who had like the odd little moments of like switching off quite a few times because he's still young compared to Romero. Yeah, Romero's got all the experience compared to like Van der Ben, but Romero's the one who's switching off. And like, it's costing us. It seems to be like every time he's switching off, it seems to be costing us a goal. It's like, yeah, I definitely think like you have to like you don't look at it now and say, well, if Jackson doesn't get a game, then I'll be looking at thinking, well, if I'm Jackson, I'll be like, well, why am I not getting games when Romero's making mistakes? And then you signed me. I've never played first team football in Italy, yeah, to come and sit on the bench here. I'm getting some cup games, but I'm not even getting games now when one of the centre backs is out of form.
Turned down Bayern Munich for us.
And it's kind of like a thing as well. It's like the documentary when Danny Rhodes was saying everyone's playing shit, but you're still picking them. I'm just sitting here.
It's true. It's true. Oh, sorry, Adrian. My bad, brother. Go ahead.
Dragusin has also got to settle into the squad. When I watched him play for Romania, he had good games, but he also got a mistake in him. There was one goal on a byline. He let a player go. They got tight to the byline, and the guy's like gone round him off the pitch, cut round, squared the ball back, and Romania conceded a goal through him. The goal against Newcastle, the second goal, we had 3 in a line. We had Porro. No, it was on the left. We had Udogie, who should have been tighter to Murphy. Inside him, you had Romero, who's playing at left centre-back. Then you had Dragusin, who was playing everyone on side. He didn't know whether to stick or twist. I'm not blaming for that, but when you're not used to playing in a centre pair, and Dragusin needs games with VDV, and he needs games with Romero, so as those players get used to each other's games. And like Porro on the other side was fine. So you had 3 of them that were okay, and it was actually Dragusin who didn't know whether to stick or twist, who played everyone on side. So then I would blame Romero for that, though, Dan, because someone has to marshal the defence, right? And someone has to call it, right? And for that, he's the most experienced. I mean, he's a fantastic player. 2 Copa Americas and a World Cup. He made a great difference when he was first brought into that Argentinian side. He really stiffened their defence up and sorted it out. He's not a bad player. But just at this moment with Spurs, when people are looking for solutions, you know, we're using the scattergun approach. Who can we blame, and all that. and it's a combination of facts. It's a combination of things. It's
never
not,
just one.
you know, I mean, Romero whenever you see him, he's very composed. If I've got a criticism about him, it's not much about his defending. Sometimes I think he should use the ball more quickly, lose the ball more quickly, but he's got to have options to pass the ball. Everything goes through him. Even VDV gives the ball to him because he knows Romero's better on the ball than he is, you know. And like VDV is a fantastic player. The problem is we've got young players in this play that are still developing. Against Ferencváros, right? You had an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 22-year-old involved in the goal.
Okay. No, that's a good point. It's a very good point. And
we seem to think that your doggy's this mature player. He's not. He will make mistakes. And we're going to have some of this bumps. I don't expect it to be as bad as it was at Brighton, but it's going to be bump. He will lose games this season, but I'm still confident we can make top four. You know.
Wait, you said you're so confident of top what?
Top four.
Mate, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, mate.
If I'm wrong, then you'll be able to tell me, won't you? I mean, like, I don't mind being proven wrong, but, you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've told my hands up to take it on the chin.
I think we're picking up too many defeats already, mate. Going in the top four. So we've already got 3 defeats already this season. Like, to get top 4 now, like, I'm about to lose in like another 5-6 games all season.
All right,
let's look at the football
then. Let's look at the football. Right. If we're reviewing the season, let's look at the football, right? 7 games in, right? We were the better team at Leicester. We were the better team at Leicester, couldn't finish their dinner. We're over 60% of the play. We started off with Son on the right, Solanke in the middle, Johnson on the left. We didn't let Basuma play because of the laughing gas matter, right? In the next game, Solanke's injured. So we play Odegaard on the left, Son through the middle, Johnson on the right, Basuma comes back. So Ange's tweaked things and changed things because of Solanke's injury, right? Right. So Odegaard got overhyped on the performance, right? The next game, this time, we play Son on the left, Decky through the middle in the 9, Odegaard on the left. This time Odegaard probably don't see as much because Maddison likes to drift to the left. So him and Son had better link-up play, right? The next game he tweaks, he changes things again, right? In each game, there's either been 3 or 4 defenders on the halfway line on a high press. Not 2 like people. He has tweaked and changed things. If people can't see that, I can't say any more about it. You know, if they don't want to see it or whatever, that's fine. He has tweaked and changed things. Substitutions have been questionable at times. When they've worked, no one moans because they were late against Brighton, and I'm critical of it. Fine, I agree. I'm not going to defend it because I think Ange should have made it earlier. Right? But the actual football, they look at all them games, right? Apart from Brentford at home, when they had 52% to 48%, we've had an average of over 60% of football, even if you include the Brentford game, for every game we've played. Now, that is not rubbish football. You don't have that amount of football if you're playing bad. Now, you can argue and then do the critique of the fact, yeah, but we didn't finish their dinner. True. I wouldn't argue against that. We didn't. But the football's been good, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. If other people disagree, that's fine.
I get where you're coming from. It's just, I understand the 63, but 63% doesn't get us the points. And like we're good at going forward. He just needs to work on his defense. But I remember him doing an interview.
No, and the attack, because like that 63% should be yielding more goals. It should be. We should be finishing our dinner, right?
Yeah, exactly. We've got 14 goals, but we've got 8 conceded in 7 games. In which
and like Porro, the reason I don't want Porro is not a shit football. Werner is not a shit football. It's just not good enough for us. And I've said it on podcasts for over a season. If we're going to win anything as a team, your front 3 have got to score goals. When we had the desk, Dele, Ericsson, Son and Kane. Son and Kane would get 40 goals a season between us with cup games and all that, right? Dele, I think he was on 16 goals when we beat Arsenal scored next game as well, right? That season, right? And then Ericsson chips in with loads of goals, right? Since 1992, when the Premier League was inaugurated, it's took on average 82 goals to win the league. Man City scoring over 100 goals a season. They've won the last 7 out of the last 10 or whatever leagues, right? They upped it to about 86. Last season, Arsenal, them lot down the road, the Wanderers, they scored 90 goals and finished second. Where are we getting 90 goals for? We haven't got 90 goals in our team, and you're not going to improve on that ratio while you've got a player like Werner in the team that can't score goals, right? He got 2 last season in something like 20 appearances and a few assists. It's not good enough. It's not good enough to take us forward. He can only be, I think he'll be mainly used as an impact sub, because as soon as Odegaard's fit and Mikey Moore will establish himself in his team, mark my words, he's going to be a superstar. Once those two establish, and Son, so there's 3 players that can play on that left-hand side other than Werner, and Werner will be gone in the summer, but we are where we are with the squad we got. It's got holes in it. We badly need a left-back, right? But I mean, yeah, you know, so we are where we are. I mean, like, so we're going to have to go with what we've got to January, see what happens then, and see where we are then.
I agree 100% where you're coming from. The only issue we've got is everyone keeps saying we need a centre back, we need a right back. What's the point of having it if he's not going to try and learn any defence? He just wants to go forward. So it's going to make everyone look shit at the back. Like last season, we conceded 61 goals and 74 goals scored. We've already conceded 8 already in 7 games. That's going to be a lot higher this season. I can see it.
Yeah, I agree.
What are our coaches doing then? Listen, Ange can't do everything on the field. What are they?
No, that's what I was saying earlier on. If he's got all these
goalkeeping coach in Rob Birch, you've got Serge Romendo and Nick Montgomery, who we've got in, who are successful with an Australian side, Hibernian and the Scottish under-21s. They've come in, right? You've got Milo Jedinek, who we got from Aston Villa. You've got Matty Wells, ex-Spurs player, and you've got Ryan Mason, who may be going to Anderlecht as coach, right? So we've got 5 first-team coaches and a goalkeeping coach. We definitely don't need a set-piece coach, because if they can't sort it out, sack a lot of them, right? Simple. No messing. We have more than enough coaches to sort our ills out. So things don't go well. You just got to keep working hard on the training field, keep working between games, you know.
But that's what makes me laugh though. Like they work week in, week out on the pitch, and there's still all those holes in the back. So what are they doing? They're just having a cup of tea in the canteen. It's just something needs to be done, and it's just frustrating because obviously we're all season ticket holders. We pay our money, and we're just getting attacking football, but leaky defense. It's just irritating to watch because now I'm going to be pissed off until we play again, and we're probably going to be pissed off after that. I'm just being like really defensive at the moment because I'm just pissed off about the game still. It's just winding me up.
Ben's question up, Colin. I like Ben's questions.
Question for the panel: will Ange last longer than his average tenure of 3 years at the club? I think he would like to. I think the Premier League's where he wants to be. He's like a lot of players. I mean, they see the Premier League as like the pinnacle. You know, that we talked to Alex Dragishin, Radu's brother, who said that the Premier League was where Radu always wanted to be. That's part of why he turned down Bayern Munich, was because he wanted to come play in the Premier League. I think Ange is the same way. I think he sees this as, you know, the top of the pinnacle of his career. You know, he's worked a long time. He's had to work very hard to get to here. You know, his trajectory has been a lot different than most top managers. And there'll be people in the chat who will say he's not a top manager. I disagree. I think he is. But will Ange last longer than his average tenure of 3 years at the club? I'll go out on the limb and say yes. And he definitely wants to. But I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
I'm going to say, I think me and Dan are going to probably agree on this. I don't think he will.
We'll have to see.
I want him to. I want him to, but the reason why is just I just can't see it. I don't think Levy likes sacking people, and I reckon if the next couple of results don't go our way, I reckon he'll be gone.
Well, Ryan Mason, the guy that we always appoint whenever we fire a manager, the guy that always comes in and is given the reins when a manager is fired, is leaving. So that
I wanted Mason gone for a while because
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is though, if we get rid of a manager, there's the person we always just jam Ryan Mason in there, but we don't have Ryan Mason to jam in there anymore. So it's like, who's available? Who would come? There's all these questions. I don't even know who would be interim if Ange got fired.
I'll tell you who's available, Tuchel.
God damn it! I know.
Question: what would the backlash be against Levy and the board if they were to sack Ange, say, mid-season, I don't see it being while we're in the Europa League. That gives you a Champions League spot. So to me, it's not happening this season. But hypothetically, if they were to sack him, another manager, right? What do you think the backlash would then be against Levy and the ball?
Well, I think half of the well, people I spoke to, most of the fan base are Ange anyway. What I see over like social media, but
but social media hasn't got the reach. Social media thinks it's got. I'm telling you now, I know it doesn't.
Yeah, I know, but I was just saying, like, but if he was to go, I don't think there may be much backlash because everyone wants Levy out anyway. So he, like he said in the fans forum, he doesn't really care what people think of him. But I don't know. This is my opinion.
Spurs have an estimated 34 million fan base worldwide. But we're talking about the ones that use social media or the ones that are mainly based in the UK, because they're the only ones that could get up and protest if they feel the need to at a particular time when the next PR blunder comes along, which probably isn't too far away. They never are. But but no, I don't see it. I think they're going to stick with Ange like Arsenal stuck with Arteta. Going anywhere.
Exactly.
And
I hope they stick with it.
Season finishes. If this season finishes well, what well is, I'm not quite sure, but well enough, because we're not dependent on Champions League money now. We're not dependent on that. We didn't spend all we could spend in the transfer window. We saved about 70 mil. So like we had the capability of spending about 140. We had about a net spend of about 70. So we saved money. That's probably the amount of money we'd make if we weren't in the Champions League next year anyway, not winning it, because we wouldn't win it if we was in it next year. Not the squad we've got. So I think Ange is a lot safer than some fans might think out there, to be honest with you. But I could be proved wrong. You know what I mean? I could be proved wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
But just going back to what you said, though, like Lange did that interview after the transfer and he goes, the focus was getting players out. Well, if you want to rebuild, you need to get freaking players in ready for now. But that's the only issue I've got. I'm not a big fan of that Lang guy. I feel like we should have got someone else in. But I hope Ange succeeds over like any manager that comes in. But I just, with the results going at the moment, I just can't see it.
Yeah, well, they've only got two more to get rid of, aren't they? Gill, who's doing well out in Girona, and Reguilon, really. And then that's virtually all the old guard cleared out. So they've got no excuses. So in January, when there's a transfer, actually, we've usually done quite well in January. If you exclude Dan Juma, we've got Dele Alli in January. We've got Lucas Moura in January. We've got Decky and Bentancur in January. We've got Porro in January. Actually, the January transfer window, although it's a crap window because it's only a month and everyone hates it.
Hard to do business. Teams don't want to let go of good players.
And like you're trying to get players from a club that involved in relegation, they ain't selling. You're trying to get players that are going strong in competitions, got a chance of European places or winning a trophy, they ain't selling. So you're either going to pay an extortionate fee. You may get lucky if you're in for a player where a club is well stocked, like you want a left back we need, and they've got three good ones. You've got half a chance. But other than that, transfer window, it's awful. I hate the transfer window full stop, the summer one and the January one, actually.
This is why I'm happy that next season they're closing it before the season starts. So you get players.
It's going to end, isn't it? When it's going to stop before the season. We did that the other year, and then all the clubs complained. Oh, we're being disadvantaged by European clubs who can come and cherry pick our players when the season started because it goes 2 weeks in the season. And then
don't sell your players. It's easy.
And then the Turkish and Saudi windows go on another week or two after that anyway. So you've got that. So, but then your players are under contract. They ain't going nowhere under contract unless they want to lose a big chunk of their loyalty bonuses and payments like that.
Yeah, I just missed the days when we used to have 4 strikers. That was the days.
Yeah, but
now it's like
the reason. But this is how things have changed in football because systems have changed. And those play with one up front. Now clubs have 2 instead of 4. You're right, Jamie. They have 2 instead of 4 usually.
I miss those days when you could come. Hold on, the other team. Let's get Berbatov and Kane on. So, but I was want to hear from Dan because I kind of cut you off when you was talking about will Ange survive.
Well, yeah, sorry, mate. I personally, I just thought about it. I reckon that, there's be 2 seasons now. If he doesn't get top 4, we get Champions League. So I reckon he either has to win the Europa League or he has to get top 4 this season. He might not even make it to the end of the season, like you said earlier, Jamie. His next few results don't go his way. Because he could be. It's gone from. It's gone. 1 second. It's gone from he was under real pressure after the Arsenal game to he managed to survive the Coventry game, get some results, and I'll turn it back the other way. But now it could easily go back the other way again after this Brighton defeat. If we lose at West Ham, and then if we lose home to West Ham, then struggle our next few games after. I've looked at it like before that. If you look at it, what managers has survived in recent times not getting Champions League back to back 2 years in a row? Because Poch obviously after his second season got Champions League. Conte in his first season got first half of the season, or like first 3 quarters of the season got Champions League. Nuno didn't even make it past 10 games. Mourinho was did he do 2 full seasons?
No, I don't think he did the full second.
No one did 2 full seasons.
Yeah, exactly. So he got sacked into he got sacked into his second season, obviously 5 days before the final. But I don't know where we were in the league at that time. Anyway, were we in the top 4 when he got sacked around that February time? So I'm thinking like we've not had a manager like in recent times. He's gone back to back years without getting top 4. So I'd like to see what sort of position that would put Levy in. Because we quite clearly know how much Levy wants that Champions League money.
Well, to add a caveat to what you said, Dan, I agree with what you're saying. To add a caveat to that, it'll probably go to 5th for Champions League because all the coefficient for all the English clubs that have played in all the competition is good because none of them lost, most won, and a few of them drew. And I don't see the Germans overtaking us this time. Last year we had a big fall away. So the fifth place will go to Champions League if all your clubs in all your European competition do well and get the wins and draws that you need to get 5th. So I'm thinking it's more than likely that the English clubs will do that and there will be a 5th spot in the Champions League. I can't swear on that or know that, but we know it goes to 5th with whoever's got the best coefficient. And that'll probably go between us and the Italians. I'm not sure how strong the Spanish league is after Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico. I'm not sure. I don't know who the strongest teams are there apart from Barcelona and Real Madrid. Probably Atletico are the 3rd strongest. I don't know.
You would assume so. Yeah, historically at least. I need to do some homework on other leagues. That is a spot where I'm particularly lacking in knowledge. I'll be the first to tell you that.
I think Roma have an awful season. I think so far. I know they haven't started the season off well. I know Roma haven't started off the season well in Italy. I think they're like not doing good at all. So obviously, I don't know if that's the same. I don't think that's the same sort of Roma team like in the recent years. So obviously, we should worry a little bit about playing Roma at home, but it's definitely not the same Roma team in recent years. I know that.
Yeah, I just find that even in past experience before the game now that's quick, I always found that, and I've seen Spurs play in lots of European competitions, and I always find when teams come to us, they always seem to struggle with the pace of our game, like, you know what I mean? Just, but which is always, I think, an advantage, like, you know, even when back in the day they may have been technically better than us, you know, because they've had more time on the ball in their leagues. But yeah. I think whether Spurs finish 5th, higher, lower, or whatever, I think that 5th place I think it's as good as nailed on. I think we've got so many strong teams in Europe this year. Chelsea, for example, right? Newcastle, Villa, us.
Newcastle in Europe, are they?
Sorry?
Newcastle in Europe, are they?
Are they in the Conference League?
No.
Oh, sorry, I'm missing out. Who's in the Conference League? Chelsea in the Conference League.
Chelsea,
yeah. So that's in the League. Man United, Villa and Villa in the Champions League with Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool. And they?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So how many clubs we got in? We got 4 in the Champions League. How many in Europa League?
2.
We've got 7 altogether.
Right, which is pretty strong 7.
Yeah, I agree. Baloo's in the chat. I just want to say hey to Baloo real quick. Not a name I see all too often, but thanks for being here, my friend. Hopefully you stick around and we see more of you. But it says if we go all out for Europa League and win it, we don't need to care much of where we finish in Premier League. We will go straight into that Champions League spot for next season. For sure, agree. But that's a dangerous game to play. I agree. It was Rich, I think he said, that we are paying a price for our bad transfer window. And we have left the squad pretty thin. I think that we've got it is right there. We're paying the price for our atrocious summer window. We're so short considering we're in 4 competitions. I think that realistically, I know we're in 4 competitions, but I think we're in 2 competitions, if you know what I mean. I feel like the league and Europa League are going to be prioritized heavily by everybody this year.
We could prioritise the League Cup, October the 30th, Wednesday. We play Man City at home.
Yeah, if we win that game, then anything.
We've got to buy in the first round. 6 games to win a competition, right?
Yeah.
We're now through, right? 2 more games after City, you've won it. I think it's 3 games.
Pep did say, didn't he, that he's playing youngsters because he's not prioritising.
And at that time, I did it.
Could be mind games, though.
The fixtures at that particular time when we come to play Man City, they've got 4 away games on the spin or something. So they must clash with Europe or something like that, right? And then we play them. And when Ash went to look in at Man City when the draw was done, it was funny because all the Spurs fans, the ones that let's say are not as positive, be kind to them, right? Were saying, "Oh, Man City, that's us out," blah blah blah. But when we went and looked in the Man City fans forum, right, they're going, "Oh fuck, not Tottenham again," because they don't like. So it was funny because I thought, yeah, their fans are thinking, "Oh shit, we got to play Tottenham," because they think we've got hoodoo over them. Actually, throughout the whole history of the 2 clubs, it's about bang on even. But that's going back to when we first ever played them years ago. In modern history, it's a bit different, but it's a bang even. I think they got 1 more win, than us, and all the other games have been draws, of how many we've played. But in recent history, our record's very good against them. I think we got more wins against top 3 best teams of Man City, West Ham and Everton. I think us for Spurs are the teams we get most wins against, But everybody else gets most wins against us.
Can we talk a little bit, guys, about Ange's quotes after the game? Because I think that I don't know if they were taken out of context. I don't think that he, like I said, I don't think he expresses himself super well, especially when he's angry. And we've got some Australians in the chat that can maybe kind of translate for us a bit. Give us maybe an eye into the mind of an Australian bloke. But Tony Montana, great name, by the way. Hope you are safe. Hope that they don't come and get you at the end of this episode like they did in the movie. But Tony saying that his comments after the game should be a concern to everyone.
Tony, I agree with you on the point that I was on. That the worst part of that, he was bristling, upset, angry. Okay, we can take it. He's a bit emo, which we all were as well.
Emo. That's a great word. I didn't think I'd ever heard you say that. Say that.
Emo, right?
So, yeah.
When he said, "What a load of rubbish," when he turned around and said, "Oh, the substitutes wouldn't make much difference. I don't want to win falsely anyway, in any way," right? What a load of rubbish. We won falsely against Coventry. What, do you want to let them go through instead of us in the cup then? We won falsely against Coventry. If we play crap and win a game, right, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate every win, right? I always will, And at home, I always believe we can beat anyone. I live 1.5 miles from the ground. I wouldn't leave my house and go to the ground if I thought we were going to win a game. I wouldn't even have a season ticket, But that part, I think he wasn't thinking right now. He wasn't thinking. He was angry. He was upset because he was right about the other thing, acceptable from the players. Go on, Tony.
Dan?
Sorry, but I would sort of agree with Adrian, but he's definitely angry after the game. You can tell with his comments, but they're not great comments to come out with. I'm not going to lie, after the game, because as a manager, you're supposed to, even if the game ain't going your way at times, you're supposed to still bring on stuff to try and win the match. You don't win games the right way all the time. Sometimes you have to win games ugly. like Adrian said, he's come out. You can tell he's come out the game after he's effing raging, and you can tell some of his comments have come out at a time, obviously, when he probably shouldn't have done the interview straight after the match, because that collapse in the second half, that's obviously that's happened on his watch as well. So he's going to take a lot of flack for that as well. So, you can tell when his hands in his pocket, like obviously he can work both ways. He was standing there watching it happen as well, but he was also standing there as well, seeing it as well by what he was seeing. And you can tell after the interview, I cannot believe. I honestly don't believe any manager would honestly think that, because if they do, like that does send serious red flags. But it doesn't give any confidence to your sub bench as well. If you're saying that, like, I don't want to bring on any subs. We didn't deserve to win the match, and I don't think it would be fair if we got a point in the game we don't deserve to get anything out of. No, even Pep would take points in matches he don't think he deserves to win. Any manager would. Yeah. That's just at the end of the day, you're chasing results. You don't always have to look at the performances at the end of the day. It's just about getting results at times. But I've looked at it more. I've looked at it more. I can honestly believe any manager would actually believe that in general. Like, I just feel he should have been honestly.
They wouldn't, Dan. You're right. I mean, when I was at the sub bench, I thought, why is there no Davis on the sub bench? Because I would have hooked you, doggy. He was awful, right? But you know, why is that? And that's got to be interesting, the subs bench, because when you look at a subs bench, that gives you an inkling into the manager's mind, what his psyche is. I mean, you look, we've had decent subs on the bench recently. Then you're going to see who's going to leave out. When you doggy's fit, when Odebert's fit, when Richarlison is fit, when Son's fit. If those three come on the bench or play, who's the three who's going to drop off? Now, I mean, the squad is looking better. It's looking better, but it's got to perform. You know, it's got to perform. And we're only 7 games into the league. There's 31 games to go, people. You know, it's time for chins up, you know.
That's a long season.
I like David Clark's comment right here, that straight after a game like that isn't the best time to analyze the coach's interview.
Yeah, true.
Common sense after a second half collapse like that. You don't expect a coach to give a balanced interview.
True.
Fully agree. And I think the thing we said about
subs, don't we?
I think what he said about subs, and again, I'm trying to like get inside this guy's head and translate what he said. But he said that, you know, subs, his comments about subs, I think he meant that our mentality was so shit that we could have put anybody. He could have subbed anybody out. We would have lost, because I think he was saying it was a collective loss. It wasn't because of 2 or 3 players that we lost and we could have, you know, made changes for. I don't know. It's hard.
But Colin, was that after he'd failed to make substitutions at 2-2 rather than at 3-2? What's his comment? See, we don't know. That's not clear, is it? That's not clear. So, I mean, he got it wrong. He got it wrong. Look, I'm all Ange because I don't want to keep changing managers, but he got it wrong. Yeah. He got it wrong. He got part of that press conference. He got it wrong. You can't defend the indefensible. He got it wrong. Right? It's simple. And like, he takes it on the chin. He takes his part on the chin with the substitutions. But the main reason we lost that game was because of the players. It wasn't him. If you had to divide the criticism up, and what percentage out of 100 are you putting on Ange, and what are you putting on the players on the pitch?
It's yeah. Sorry, Dan, you're about to say something. I cut you off.
Yeah, one thing I would say about he could literally if he said about how the game wasn't going the way the 11 players on the pitch, we can make 5 subs in the Premier League now. He can literally change half the playing, obviously the 10 that's on the pitch if it ain't working the way he wants to. And I know people don't make 5 subs a lot at once, but he would have sent a message. They'd be like, I'm not impressed one way with how this game's going, yeah. And he could have maybe, it might not have worked because it might have took a while for them to obviously mesh together on the pitch. But at the end of the day, we as fans might have still backed up his ideas and said, look, he was not really impressed with what he saw. And he thought, buddy, I'm taking 5 of these players off here, or won't you? Because I can take the whole 11 off. I can take the whole 11 off the Bulgaria, probably. But you see what I'm saying? At times, like, you've got extra subs now in the Premier League, yeah? Like, you can make like enough subs to make an impact on a game. So I'm not 100% behind this bit where like the game's not going the way it was. The whole 11 players on the pitch were not turning up there. It don't matter what players I brought on. They don't really give a lot of confidence to the players on the bench as well. But I was sitting on the bench and he was saying that. And he was saying that, but like, what are you trying to say? I can make no impact on the game at all.
Yeah, why the fuck am I even here if I don't matter? Exactly. No, I get what you're saying, Dan.
It's kind of like throwing them under the bus, isn't it? Because look, you got Lancashire on the bench. The kids, like, you'd be screaming out for another strike if you'd gone 3-2 down. But we should have never made it 2-2. Like, that's what annoys me the most.
Rich has a comment here that I think is probably a pretty good insight into things. He said last season, Ange said he felt like he had no game changers in the team. He reckons that Ange still feels that way now. We've lost Dan. Dan will come back, I'm sure. Hopefully, Dan, come back. Hope we didn't chase you away. But yeah, Rich, I agree. I don't think we have many game changers. I mean, clearly, we have Lancashire, we've got Mikey Moore, both very good players. But are they quote unquote game changers? And I guess if we don't give them game time, we won't know. But yeah, that's a good point. It's a very good point. He's back, and Dan returns. Everybody, I was worried that we pissed you off, Dan. We were like, I
pressed the leave button by mistake. Sorry, mate.
Oh, you're good, buddy. You're good. There's been lots of comments by my boy Pete saying basically that he doesn't think that we deserve Ange. That Ange takes time. That since he's watched Ange at a lot of other teams, he can kind of see the progress being made, the route we're on, in that it looks like everything's kind of on course for what you can expect with Ange. I don't know. I 100% want to agree with Pete, and I find myself agreeing because I'm like an optimistic to a fault kind of person, and I'd rather be that way. I'd rather be positive and excited and stuff, just because life is shit enough as it is. I can't add another thing to my life to be depressed or worried or negative about. And this constant hiring and firing of managers hasn't worked. I hate to keep bringing up Arsenal because Arsenal we're showing some good things even in those years where they were shit under Arteta. They were showing, but so have Spurs. Spurs haven't looked awful at all, and I have been seeing improvement in the team. I don't really have a point I'm trying to make here, or if I do, I've lost it. But I'm just saying I'm still Ange, and I don't know.
But I was going to say as well, what irritates me a little bit, like Aston Villa, you wouldn't even think of them, and Emery's come in and he's made them look so much better than us, and I think it's just the way to make it man management. Like, I would love Emery at Spurs. I think he would do a great job at Spurs. But,
he's someone. Sorry, mate. He's someone that's never been like banding around with a Tottenham job. I agree, mate. He's done a great job at Villa.
It is. Look,
how long has he been there?
He's been there 2 seasons, I think. Emery. Yeah. And look at the word there.
This is his third season.
His third season. He took over when they were basically relegation, and look where they are now. They're in Champions League football. They outdone us. And when you go there now, Villa Park is a hard place to go and play. Before you always get a result there, but now it's like no, like they're a proper team.
But shouldn't Ange be given a chance to build what he considers a proper team? Like, I think if you asked Ange if the job was done, if he had the team he wanted, if he had the players playing the way he wanted, he would say no. I don't think.
I think what helps Emery, Colin, is that he's got experience in European football. Ange is basically was it Japan and Scotland. He's been around for 26 years management, but I think Emery, he's done European football, so he's used to what it's about. He's come to a Premier League, which is completely different, and it's probably too big for him as a job. But we're Spurs fans, we want him to succeed. At the moment, I think he's getting found out a lot, and I think he's got backroom staff and not doing much for him.
But I think it's hold on 1 second. I think that saying that he's gotten found out is a weird thing to say, not to you, but a lot of people have been saying it because he plays the exact same way that he's been playing for 2 decades. So if he's just now getting found out, you know what I mean? What's that say about the other managers that are finding him out? I mean, I don't know.
Don't you find that when we get a defeat like this, you get the knee-jerk reaction? I understand the knee-jerk reaction. I'm disappointed, but I ain't so knee-jerk. I'm trying to fathom out what has gone wrong, tactically, and what's gone wrong in all areas of the pitch, and basically our fullbacks were poor, right, and our midfield crumbled. Basically, was simply it, right. But then you get fans say, "Oh, Ange's been found out." Well, he's changed things now. There isn't like two at the back and all that, right? And balls, if you press high anyway, the way you get out, you press or either wing or centre or anything like that. Besides that, you've got coaching, right? I mean, you guys here, guys in the chat, you all know your football. You're all knowledgeable, right? You know how Liverpool play. Arsenal plays attacking football. You know how Man City plays. We know how Brentford were going to play when they came to us, right? We know how all these other teams play, and they know how we play. I think when people say, "Oh, you're being found out," I think that's a bit of a misnomer, to be honest with you, because everyone knows how each other plays. What you have to do is impose your game on their game. Whoever does that usually ends up coming out winners for the most part.
Yeah, but I think when I say like kind of found out is like when he first came in, no one expected to see him to do that well in the first 10 games. They're like, wow, this is completely different attack in football. But now, because he doesn't change the system, everyone's like, he's been found out that way. So they know he's going to get everyone going forward. Long ball done. That's the kind of way I go into more detail.
I understand where Jamie's coming from. Like you said, like Jamie said, like our patterns of play, how we're going forward. That's definitely been found out a little bit. Like how it did in like the first 6 months when he come to the club, but not so like how to get out so easily at the back at times. Yeah, it's also saying they got found out after the first few months of the season as well. Like a lot of teams can set up the same way. A lot of teams can set up the same way to play against us because they know how we're going to play. Like the only thing is.
Question for you guys then. I mean, so we went in 2-0. I'm thinking no need to change anything. Why don't we go? We look like we're going to go on and win 3-4 on final. Sadly, I was wrong. So second half, the first goal goes in. I wouldn't panic at 2-1. But 2 minutes later. So what's plan B then? Everybody says, oh, he's got no plan B. Well, when I ask fans what plan B is, they can't tell me. What's plan B?
There isn't one.
Well, there isn't one.
It's basically
there isn't one for most managers out there. I remember Harry Redknapp turned around and said plan B. He sort of went, oh, you know why Harry Redknapp. He went, no, what you do is you make substitutions, you bring players on that give you something a little bit different in the hope that you can change the game in your favour. There isn't no such thing as plan B. It's like fans get desperate. It's part of the knee jerk. It's like leaders on the pitch, right? I mean, where's the footballer's IQ? Where's their tactical awareness? It wouldn't have took me. I used to play at right back. I was, I had deceptive pace. I was slower than you thought, right? But I mean, like when I played, it didn't take me long to think, oh, I'm going to get goal side. This guy is quicker than me, right? So I'd say goal side of him. Yeah, there is that destiny. Yeah. So, but like. Why haven't players got the awareness? I mean, like I said earlier, Harry Kane would have dropped straight back. Seen the team in trouble, he'd have dropped straight back. He didn't need telling. It's not like he's got to break the system. I would have thought Decky would have come back to help Porro out more. You'd
think.
On the other side, Werner can track back. It's one thing he can do. He had a good first half. I hate to say it, but he did. But like,
you hate to say it. Come on, be fair.
Be fair. No, he did. I have to admit, he did. So you'd have thought, well, Werner would have come back. Where's the intelligent awareness? Where's the footballing IQ? You don't need a captain to shout at players to do things. They should know. You're footballers. You should know this. You've come through all different systems from the age of 9 when the academies take you through to international level football. You're on a football pitch now. And you don't know how to try, even if you don't know how to try to solve the problem, that you can still act decisively and try to solve the situation. It just gets me. I get exasperated, like when I see things like that.
I was just going back to say, like when you said like managers don't have plan B, like look at, I think I'm going to use Conte as an example. He'll probably use about 6 or 7 different formations in the game. Ange's got one system: is attack and then long ball. If Van de Ven can't get it, it's a goal because no one else is quicker than him in the back. When he's out, look how bad we look in defense.
Well, when Van de Ven's out, there's absolutely no reason that we shouldn't drop that line back 10 or 15, 5 or 10 yards at least. I was going to say feet,
that's the problem.
Like, we should definitely be dropping the line back if Van de Ven's out, 100%.
Spurs played that high line, like 70% high line, and they basically got 30% going forward. They're screwed. That's the problem we have.
But if we could put away our chances, it wouldn't matter. We don't let them create enough clear-cut chances that if we would put away the chances that we create, we would still be winning games comfortably, even though we are sometimes exposed at the back. Like I as like everyone else can see that the high line does leave us super exposed at times and gives them good opportunities to score. But if we were finishing our chances, if we were clinical up front, the numbers, we would still be winning these games. You know,
We might be still winning, but our goals against would still be shocking.
yeah.
And then that goals against could cost you winning the league.
Yeah,
I get that. I'm just saying I don't think it's I see what Ange is doing. I get it. And I think that if it was all clicking, other people wouldn't be so upset. You know what I mean? If we were finishing those chances up front, if we had a player that was more clinical than Werner, who could actually finish from the left side, if we had now we've got Brennan Johnson. I think Brennan Johnson's been doing this in training for months and months and months now, and it's just finally starting to click on the pitch. So there's one player that's clinical. We've got Solanke now who's clinical. When you get that left side figured out, I changed my thing because I think it might have been Tony Montana. Who was it? It was Lord Rodney. Lord Rodney said, I think, somebody said they couldn't be delusional enough to be positive with this. And I changed my name on here to delusional and positive. But I just want to see, what we're going for, the bigger picture. And I think it is just simply to outscore other teams. Do you know what I mean? Don't you guys think if everything was going perfectly and Ange was having it his way, just the way he wanted it, we would still be leaving ourselves exposed at the back at times. We would be scoring so many goals that it wouldn't really matter. But
I get what you're saying, but I think Ange adapted just a little bit, like 5%, to sort out the defense. Like, hold on, we're 1-0 up. Let's defend a little bit. Let's not constantly leave ourselves at the back. That's the problem we're having. If we got that little bit, just a little bit of a tactical change, I think we'd be on a lot more points than we are on that. Because who is it that might? I can't remember what commentator said it. It might have been Gary Neville. I know it's Gary Neville, but he was like, just adapt just a little bit because you're 2-0 up or 1-0 up, and you're still going for the second. Just do what other players do. Go to the corner and waste time a little bit. Everyone else does it. Why are we not? I know David Clark said something here. We're missing the point, but the players are responsible just as much as Ange. But they're going from what he's telling them to do. They ain't got their own brains to do what they're supposed to be doing. Does that make sense?
Even clinical players miss chances, I think, David. I think you're allowed to say a player's clinical without every single shot they take going in. I'd call Son a clinical player, and we've all seen how his goal scoring form has been recently. So I get what you're saying 100%. And Johnson did have a sitter to make it 3-0. But I still think it's safe to call Johnson clinical, but that's just me.
I've seen improvement this year from last year. And funnily enough, although we lost the midfield battle, then I've seen an improvement in midfield with our possession in the 7 games we've played, right? Last season, toward the end, I said, a midfield's pants is fragile, flaky, right? Can implode. I said, the front three is pants, right? This season, up until this game, our midfield's been fine, right? Even though we ain't finished. But
I think
our forward line has not clicked. The last time I see our forward line really click, fun enough, was away at Burnley when we won 5-2. Oda made made 2 assists. Solomon made 2 assists for Son when he got his hat-trick, and we won 5-2, right, away. Now, this forward line it's better with Solanke in it. We all admit that. The work rate he puts in is phenomenal.
He didn't have a preseason, so he's still getting himself into things.
And we haven't really clicked as a front three. We've clicked as a front two. Even Sonny's got, for the games he's played and the stick he's took, don't know how many games he's played. He didn't play in this one, which is 7, right? But he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. And he'll probably still end up with 15 goals at the end of the season.
Double figures for sure. Yeah.
Who was that? Sorry, I missed that bit.
Son, 2 goals, 2 assists, right? How many games he played? He ain't played 7. So he's got to play any amount of games under 6. And I think he didn't play 1 because he was injured. So the most he could have played is 4 or 5 games, right? So 2 goals and 2 assists in 4 or 5 games is a good return. I don't care what anyone says, it is, right? All right. He might be in the twilight of his career. We might get another season out of him after this one, right? So Then you've got to look at Mikey Moore and Odegaard on the left. We haven't seen enough of Odegaard to form an opinion, you know. So and we're a young team. I mean, we're the second youngest team in the Premier League after if Chelsea could field their youngest side, you know, but they've got a 50-man squad. So I mean, like, you know, it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard to sort of decide who's going to play. And like on that left, you got VDV and you Dougie, and they're young players. Then you get Romero, who's 26, 27, and Porro, who's 26, 27 or whatever on the right-hand side. So these players are still developing, but we're treating them like veterans when we're bringing in as if they're veterans and 10 years older than like Graham Bergvall or Mikey Moore when they get a chance or Lancashire. This team will make mistakes. It's young. It's developing. You won't see the best of this team this season. No way.
But that's the problem we had, though, because we, like, I know it sounds like being negative, which I'm trying not to be. It's just last season, I think he could do anything he wanted, Ange, because it's getting the team gelled together. Second season, he wins something in his second season. The team hasn't gelled as much, which we thought they would have. This is why he should have brought in players, like Lang should have brought in players to play now instead of just bringing all kids in. That's the point I was trying to get across.
I get what you're saying, but
no, a constructive critique is not negative. If you're just like going off on one and ranting at everyone, and you don't
hands out.
If you're going to like in my group, like if you're going to say a player's shit, fine. You don't like the player, that's fine. Live with it. Explain why you don't like the player, what you don't like about his game, right? That to me, I class those people as moaners, negative type moaners. They moan at everything. We could win the quadruple, they'd moan. But if you've got a justified critique and it's fair, that then is not necessarily being negative. It's just a critique, you know.
I think because I go back to Werner because obviously there's a lot of hate on him. And I do give him stick, which I feel like I'm entitled to do. But the only thing that what winds me up the most about him, he just stays in one position. He doesn't track back as much what I've been seeing. So when he was against Brighton, he just stayed on the left, and that was it. Until the ball comes to him, then he'd go on a run. We need someone that's going to constantly keep making us runs or cut inside. But he just can't seem to shoot for shit. I don't know what's going on with him.
He doesn't seem. Yeah. It's receiving the ball on the half turn, so he can either go down the line or cut inside the field. He always seems a lot of the time. He's, in fairness to him, because he's a good footballer. He's not good enough for us. I don't want him at the club, right? In fairness to him, a lot of the times he receives the ball when he's got his back to a defender. Ideally, your winger wants to have the jump on the defender, at least have the ball in front of him and give a chance to run at the play. There's not many wingers that can stand a player up and from a dead start and go past them like a Gareth Bale or an Eden Hazard in his prime or someone like that. There aren't many out there that can do that. And Werner, although he's got all the pace, and he did beat his man in the first half a couple of times as well.
You did, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
Now we're seeing something, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, and we're playing well, so you sort of like, you know, all your love is returning if you had it in your phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the frustrating part of him, obviously, the United game. Let's just say we were losing that game. The two chances he missed were so vital. Yeah. Like he should be putting them away, but they were like he just passed them back to Onana. But to be fair, Onana had a good game. He was their best player because it could have been a lot worse.
How many times have you seen Werner get through, even in friendly, when Decky hit one pre-season friendly, hit one with the outside of the boot through to him as well, and he doesn't. How many times do you see Werner? He gets the ball, he's directly central with the goalkeeper when he should either chip it or just a quick move to one side and get the shot off, right? Yeah. He'll drag the ball wide and give himself a harder angle to score than what he had like 2 seconds earlier, right? And I've seen him do it, and I think he's just not a natural finisher. When he's had them, he scored something like 152 goals in his career. His actual strike rate for a winger is good. It's good, but like he's not a natural finisher. He's hitting hope. It's like he closes his eyes and has a shot or something. He's a shutter's come down or something like. He's just like, I don't want him. I don't want him because it's not because he couldn't go and do a job for a lesser team. But
Joe, I'll bring up the question in just a second. I just want to let Joe Phillips know I'm not skipping your question, but I'm going to bring it on. But David Clark says, so we see the best of these players in 2 seasons' time. Meanwhile, the other top Premier League teams continue to buy ready-made 80 million pound players. So they are further away from us in this season. So what progress? Do you guys think that we're going to start bringing in ready-made players ever? I mean, we can't just keep buying for the future because that just doesn't really make any sense. I don't know. Was it just, do you think that the players that we wanted that were ready-made weren't available? Do you think that, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I get what David's saying. Johnny Bethnal Green's agreeing with him on it. So, I mean, eventually you have to buy for the here and now. And I get buying for the future when the players are available, they're gettable. When in reality, when in a season or two, they might be going to a Madrid or a Barcelona if we don't snap them up. So I get snapping them up while they're there and they're available. Do you guys think that at some point we're going to start bringing in the ready-made article?
Well, we had chances to bring in ready-made players, but if we're bringing in like the kids for now, then what's the point having a youth system? Because they're never going to get a chance. So that's the irritating thing.
I just think we grabbed some of them because they were there, James. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense, because they were there, and because if we hadn't grabbed them, another team would have, and then we wouldn't have been able to afford them after that. That's just my thinking. And I know that that's not a winner's mentality or anything, perhaps, but that's just what I see.
Yeah, I get it. But if you look at our noisy neighbours across the road, like they bought in Declan Rice for 100 million, and that one player has massively improved them.
Took him a while to start improving them, but he definitely did. Yeah,
but you go there now. Arsenal's defensive midfield is ridiculous. So, but then we bring in like I like Archie Gray. I think he's a good player. I just don't. We could have brought in we've always said we could have brought in Eze, but they wanted too much up front, which no club does it that way. But Palace have every right to ask for 50 million up front. Like the Slanky deal, the Slanky deal was 65 million. They wanted 30 up front and then the rest installments. That's how football works. But I just can't.
I would have liked Edison from Atlanta, I think, if I remember.
Edison would have been a good shout.
I would have liked Edison in preference to even. We knew that from the beginning of the transfer window, who we knew out of the club, right, straight away, who was Ange's number one priority. Number one, everyone knows it. Conor Gallagher was the player he wanted. Our fuss didn't want him. He was it. Then we knew that prior to Eze, depending what position you class him at, because he can play in multiple positions, right? Mm-hmm. We knew the club wanted a striker and a winger. They got the striker and the winger in. The striker was who Ange wanted, Solanke. Yeah. The winger might have been second choice after Neto, right? We know that as well, right? So they filled them spots. We knew we weren't going to fill every hole in the squad. I'm crying out for a left back all the time because I wanted a left back, and that's what I wanted. A left back.
It seems so funny to me. Why does everybody? What does? I'm sorry to cut you off, but speaking of left backs, what is Reguilon's problem? Like, is it all attitude with him? He's clearly a decent player, but we put him on loan to United. They didn't want to play him.
I think he's got a bit of he was off with other players, a bit of the party animal as well. That was that. That was it as well. I mean, you had a question of attitude with him, and he was.
Didn't he leave?
Maybe he was there. He was sort of liked at Brentford. He, and he went.
He went to United after, but I heard his timekeeping, he was just lazy. His attitude.
But I don't do it. Ange wouldn't put up with that shit. You can just tell by the way he talks. He seems like a harsh dad. But Joe Phillips has a question here. I just wanted to get to it before it got buried. He says, name one thing positive that Ange has brought to Tottenham. And I will say that one thing that I think is a positive from Ange's tenure here is that we've learned not to. So we lost Harry Kane, and everyone thought that was going to be everyone's, where are those 30 goals going to come from? That's 30 goals we're not going to score. But we scored. We came up and we ended up scoring just as many, if not more, goals than the season prior when we had Kane. So I think that getting more players on the ball, on the score sheet, spreading the scoring around is something I think you have to credit Ange for. And so that's a good thing. Could you tell I had to work hard to figure that out, to think of something good? But can you guys think of something positive that Ange has brought to Tottenham?
Yeah, I like the style of football. I like the style of football, especially as a season ticket holder. I mean, because the reason I didn't want Conte, or I support them while they're at the club, Mourinho at the club, was the style of football they play, right? So you're going to play low block football on the counter attack, and I know that during one of the seasons, Kane and Son got the most goals between themselves and got the most assists. But here's the caveat that kills it for me. When you watch low block football and you're defending and you're nervous as a fan because you're watching all this all the time, right? And you don't win the game and you lose the game, it is the worst experience in your life. It's worse than losing to Brighton in that second half, right? Worse, I'm telling you. And I'm at the stadium and I've been brought up on Spurs playing attractive football when we didn't have expectations to win trophies. I watched the double side play, onwards. So when you're used to watching that sort of football and I have to put up with that rubbish, to me. Now, some people like that. I think you've got to have a certain patience in you to like that sort of style of football. If you like it, fair enough. I ain't knocking you for liking your style of football, but it's not for me. I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
I'm with you, Adrian. It wasn't the Spurs that I had learned to love. And so
whether Ange screws up long term or not, right? You bring a manager into Spurs, part of the prerequisite should be that manager plays attacking football. Yeah. That's for me. Otherwise, I don't want you. But that's only me. I'm only one supporter, so
But you are the supporter with the coolest robe.
Well, Levy and the ball don't give a shit what I think. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? They're watching you right now. They think you can take notes.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about me.
No, right? They wouldn't let Graham Roberts on our show. I'm still pissed off about that. But anyway.
Oh yeah, that message. I still read that. It pisses me off.
Yeah. Apparently, the club told Graham Roberts he wasn't allowed to come on our podcast.
He's not allowed to come on any podcasts.
Except he is on podcasts sometimes. But anyway, enough of that. It's probably because of that video I play of Levy, so I'll play it again just to make him happy. Here's what Daniel Levy cares about, everybody. The pound note. But anyway, yeah. I do think the football was more attractive, more fun to watch, for sure. Don't know how you fellas feel about that.
I think I'll say what Adrian says. Yeah, I attacking football is nice to see again because we've gone from really, really dull football, but now got attacking back. But it's just little minor tweaks that he needs to do because if he doesn't do them and the results go against us, then I think he's gonna be head on a chopping block. That's just my opinion, so don't hate me.
No. I don't hate you. I don't even hate you a little bit. I love you, buddy. And I like that if we agreed on everything, you know how fucking boring this would be. Holy shit. So at least we don't agree fully on everything. David Clark says here, I think this is an interesting one, that Ange is lying about Solanke being his first choice, because if he was, he would have been his first player in the first week of the window because there was no holdups in his Bournemouth contract.
I'm kind of glad. Like, if that's the case, I'm kind of glad we got Solanke because that man is ruthless. The amount of effort he puts in, tracking back, that's what we wanted. If we had Ivan Toney, he'd just be sitting there waiting for the ball to come to him.
He'd be like, "Well, I put a fiver on myself to have 2 touches in the opponent's box." Yeah, no,
I'm really happy with Solanke at the moment. I'm not judging him on this season because it's his first season.
And no preseason. And it could have been Levy haggling about a contract. And we still don't know. I mean, we like to think that Daniel Levy is done, being part of transfer negotiations and stuff, but I don't think he ever really will be done. And so, I mean, it could easily have just been Levy haggling over prices that made it all take so long.
Can I ask a question, like, for everyone's and even in the chat? Because obviously I just replied to Destiny 5. Do you think it's time for Sonny to go now? Fuck!
I knew you were going to ask us this.
Because
if you were really dropping a bomb, you would leave. You'd be like, "Okay, here's the question. Gotta go. Bye."
The reason why I say personally, I think this should be his last season because I know they're going to do it because he's getting old now. And I was at the game where we played Carabao, and he just looked shattered completely. And we only thought he went off because he was injured, but he wasn't because he was tired. Me personally, I think this should be his last season because we need to start rebuilding for the new season, like for next season. What do you guys think, Adrian, Dan?
I think they're going to extend his contract.
I think they will.
I think he may have lost he's lost the afterburners like you see at Chelsea at Wembley when he done David Luiz and all that and scored, or the Burnley game when he broke from our penalty area and all that. He may have lost the afterburners, but he's not slow. I mean, even he's been time recently, he's still not slow. Now, whether or not, like you say, he can run for 90 minutes, that's a different matter. I don't know that. I honestly don't know about that. But I know he's still quick enough to be slipped inside around the penalty area and get a shot off with both feet. And he's been our top scorer. So until it actually is clear to me that he's really lost it, and players know when their time's up themselves, right? And I think Sonny wouldn't hang about if that was the case. He's not going to go off. He's not going to be sold. He's not going to go off to another club because he loves the club. He wouldn't have stayed this long.
Yeah.
He loved the club. So I see him staying next year. If he does well both seasons, he could still find himself there probably even another year after that, just coming on here and there in games and stuff like that. I still see him as an ambassador at the end of the day because of the shirt sales and things like that, right?
That's why I think he's here at the moment now.
Well, and maybe to help to train and to maybe hand over the mantle to
Yang Min Hook. Storming it. He is absolutely storming it.
15 goal contributions. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm looking forward to seeing him in January.
And supposedly he's playing on the right, but he supposedly is a primarily left-sided player. So he and Son basically occupied the exact same position. So who better to have than your fellow countryman, arguably the best player in your country's history. And I know I say arguably because, but anyway.
But he's doing it over
better
there.
To have as your teacher?
Can he do it in the Premier League? That's the difference.
Well, and young Vaskovic at Westerlo is doing really well. He's getting rave reviews out there as a centre-back. He's got 4 goals in 10 games. You can watch the video clips of some of his goals. He's looking hot. For a 17-year-old, he looks the business. Young man in the K-League. He's smashing it in the K-League. And 2 bits of good news over the weekend were the fact that our under-18s beat Man United 4-3 at Hospital Way. But even better, our under-21s were away to Arsenal. They were losing 2-0. 1-5-2. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Talking about a comeback.
I watched the highlights on Spurs play because, they got a young kid in the 18s who's looking good, Barnett.
The number 9 striker. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
To a number 10, Barnett. And he's got a hyphenated name, that Barnett name, like. But he looks, when I looked on him, I thought, you look good. But now they are when they're getting these kids in there, it's like data analysis on them as well before they bring them in. I mean, it's like Lancashire. He was at Arsenal, right? He goes to Sheffield United, and then as a 17-year-old, we paid 2 or 3 million for him to get him as a 17-year-old, and that was unheard of. Now you've had the money for Bergvall and other players like that. But Paratici has to take a lot of credit for the change at the academy, a lot of credit. When Dean Rastrick was there, we had a strict pay structure. This was only the year before last. There are 21s with crap last year that won everything, right? But and what was they tore up the pay structure. They thought, too much money for kids at a young age. Well, the talent weren't coming to us. They were going to clubs and paying money. So that all got torn up. Rastrick left, right? And now we're bringing in these kids, trying to get them in early, So, and I think it's a good policy. They're not all going to make it, but we will. But the academy will pay for itself because even if you sell one of these kids for 4 or 5 million, you're getting your money back. Don't know what Soon Sutton and I liked him actually, Santiago Diego. I think they both got in the Spanish clubs, second division clubs. But they would have got something for them, even if it was only $1 million each or something,
Yeah, I was sad to see Santiago go because I was looking forward to seeing him.
As well. I like the look of him, but obviously they didn't fancy him. Well, actually, I think he was a bit older for the group as well. So it's either you give him a loan or you sell him, Whereas Donnelly and Keeley at Orient aren't doing too great. Donnelly's 19, but what a forward pass that kid's got on him. What a defense forward splitting pass he's got on him.
He's not bad at left back either, is he?
He's good. And then you've got a young kid who come through the under-18s. He was captain of the under-18s. I forgot his name now. Can play centre-back, defensive midfield.
Shit, look at this comment from Destiny. Damn. But I know what you're saying. I know what he's saying.
Craig Matthews is out at Barnsley, I think, doing well. Brian Gill's smashing it as your owner, but we haven't sold him yet.
Oh no, that was the worst bit. Worst business.
But there'll be loads of clubs wanting to buy him at the end of the season. I suppose only want 12.5 mil for him or something. And really, when that comes into play at the end of the season, they get that easy for him. Easy.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Joe Phillips, the reason the podcast that he does appear on probably doesn't do this all the time. That's probably why he's allowed on there. But anyway, enough talking about that. You can tell I'm a little salty that Graham Roberts ditched us day of the show, but I'm gonna let it go. Guys, another thing I want to talk about. We talked a lot about Ange. There's in the comments, everyone's super divided, but everyone's been really, really kind and nice and just saying their opinion, letting other people have their opinion, not slagging each other off. I really, really love it. I wanted to ask about Ryan Mason leaving because a lot of people have questions about him and say that he's shit. But Anderlecht, a side that has. I'm not really sure. I need to check where they're at in their league, but I assume up towards the top.
I think they're top of the league at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean they've got European pedigree. I don't know if he's good enough for them. He must not be a terrible manager. But do you think he is good enough for them? What do you guys think about him leaving? I personally will just tell you that I think that the club are sending him off to go get some experience with the hope that one day he comes back, returns, and will manage Spurs. That's my thoughts here. So we're getting him some. It's almost like letting a player go out on loan and get some first team experience. We're going to let him have a team. We're going to let him try to build an identity, and then hopefully snag him back and have him come coach Spurs. That's my thought. But just wondered how you fellas felt about that.
Is it right to give my opinion first, mate? I'm going to head off in the next couple of minutes. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Cool, cheers, mate. Personally, I think it's a good thing, mate, that he's leaving in a way because now we ain't going to have this fall back on every time we sack a manager. Let's get Ryan Mason in to finish off the rest of the season sort of mentality. We might actually go out and actually get another proper manager if we do actually, if the worst comes to the worst and Ange does go. Because I thought straight away as soon as Mason got stuck around in the summer, when Mason got stuck around when Ange took over, I thought, oh no, here we go again. As soon as Ange goes, Mason comes in as an interim manager for about the 55th time. But yeah, it's good for Mason's career as well because Company went to Anderlecht his first manager spell, and I'm looking at Company now. Company's now Bayern Munich, so I'm not going to completely criticise Mason. It's good for his career. Anderlecht seemed to be a good stepping stone, maybe as a manager for a young manager as well to learn there as well. The Belgian league ain't exactly the highest level of quality, and he didn't do his poor during his interim spells. It's just we obviously Spurs need a much more high level manager than Ryan Mason. So obviously every time that he stuck around, I always worried that here we go again. He's going to be the interim manager eventually. So but for his career himself, going to Anderlecht is a very smart move because, like I said, look at Company now. Company went to obviously Anderlecht, because it's got connections of Anderlecht because he played there before and played as player manager for a bit. He was the manager, and then he went to Burnley. Obviously, he got relegated to Burnley, but Bayern Munich still saw enough of him at Burnley to get him to Bayern Munich.
Yeah. Don't they have?
Sorry, mate.
They have. Do they have Alderweireld or Vertonghen?
Jan Vertonghen.
Yeah, Vertonghen. So he's got familiar face there as well, then, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Jan Vertonghen's going to be older than him. I always think it's funny when there's managers with players on their team that are older than they are. But hey, it happens.
Sorry, 1 second. I didn't even know Jan was still there. If Jan's still there and coming towards the end of his playing career, I'd definitely be thinking about getting him as a coach if I was Mason.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. He's a smart dude. He's very smart. And I think he did say that he wanted to get into managing whenever his playing career was over. So that's a very, very good point, man. Very good point.
Gets him off the wage bill, doesn't it, for leaving? No, seriously. He is, by all accounts, what I've heard, he's highly rated. But when you come on and you say he's highly rated, I mean, I've never seen him coach. And half the fans that criticise him, they've never seen him coach.
Right.
So I've seen bits of Matty Well coaching. I've seen videos of Ange coaching. I've not seen him coach. So I don't know what his strengths and weaknesses are. I've got to be honest. But obviously he's been around that circuit at that age. And obviously Anderlecht have looked at him and probably watched him coach. So there must be something in him if he's in talks. Whether he gets the job or not, I don't know. Or whether it's a manager there or whatever. If they're talking while they're a manager or whatever. So I can't honestly say. And he's took a lot of stick, but how many games did he actually manage for Spurs to have that stick? Not enough.
Yeah, we thought like 10 probably.
Yeah, but at the same time, in fairness to us, we know that at that stage in his development, he's not big enough to manage a club like Spurs, don't we? Let's be fair, right? He wasn't, right? So
Yeah, he was out of his depth. That's without question.
I don't know about
But
out of
you
his depth.
think if
that
Mason-
might be a bit harsh. I mean, he was asked to take the job on by Levy, right? Interim job. So it's not a question, I don't think, out of his depth. It's just like he's not at the level. You know, he could cope. He coped with it. He managed for a few games, and fans got onto his case after so few games. But like,
Well, he was doomed. He was doomed whenever he was told to manage a cup final, and you know what I mean.
But I just want to go back to like if he won that cup final against City, do you think they would have offered him the job?
Yes, for sure, dude. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, yes.
Yeah,
That's my opinion. That's my opinion, at least.
but would he still be in it now?
No, probably not. So
No,
it's definitely a good thing for him that he didn't get it.
And then,
Lord Rodney is letting us know if Ange gets sacked, an interim will still come in. Levy's never had a plan. It was tighter than the ticket touts was. Anyway, he's ticket touts wad. I like it. Funny. You're funny, Rodney. Good to have you here, though, by the way. Rodney, new face in the chat. Joe Phillips, new face in the chat. And we've got a couple. There was someone else I thought I saw.
I've been doing something you guys should be doing as well, right? But I'd have to click on my yellow card watch. I'll do it in my group, right, on the shows. I can tell you that Maddison and Bentaker are on 3 each. I know Kulu's on 2. I think your doggy's on 2 as well. And the others are basically 1. And Romero's on none.
Yeah, Romero. Ever since cutting people pointed it out, ever since cutting the yellows out of his game, he hasn't looked.
My theory of that with the high line is, even with VDV as well, is because VDV can use his pace. If you were playing a low block, you've got to make a lot more tackles in a game than you do when you play a high line. So my theory is, people can disagree with it, is that you're going to get less yellow cards from them. And he's very good at shielding the ball when he's on the byline. Off when even Rivera knows someone's on his back, he don't put a rub it out the line and clear it. He tries to keep the ball and keep it in play and get it back into play again. But he hasn't received a yellow card. Don't think, unless Mickey Van der Ven's got 1, he might have 1.
I think he had I kind of remember him getting 1.
But if you get 5 before the 19th game, which is halfway through the season, you get a 1-man ban. If you get another 5 yellow cards in the second half of the season, you get a 2-match ban.
So how many did you say Romero got again?
None.
No. So
I want to say big up to Daniel real quick. Daniel, he said his Wi-Fi cut out, but big up Colin and Jamie for having him on, and big up to Adrian as well. Thanks for coming on, Daniel. We're always invited. Love having your opinions.
Yeah. Good to have your opinions. I mean, I like my opinions challenge as well, you know.
Absolutely.
So So
I cut you guys off.
without going on, I could give you the list, but I mean, and I keep it before I come on the shows up there, because each game we play, I update it when we get a yellow card. Like we got, I think it was you dogging, we got yellow cards against Brighton. They were the only 2. And that's another thing when you think about substitutions, which we were blaming Ange for. There are times when a player's on a yellow card. If you trust him, you leave him. And you can trust Romero on a yellow card, fun enough, because once he gets one, he seems to like go into a better zone of playing. Other players, if Basuma's on a yellow card, I'm worried.
Because he still flies in the challenges.
Because they're going to make a wild challenge. So now you're looking at, so if Decky got had a card in that game, and you Doggy, who was absolutely awful. And I like you, Doggy, don't get me wrong, I like him. I think he's got great potential. Again, too many players in the team need to develop. That's the problem. Not enough experience in them. So you got you Doggy. So he should have been hooked. And if you want someone like Decky to help out, well, you'd rather have someone who's not on a yellow card trying to help out in defence and perhaps have to take one for the team. So these are all things Ange's got to sort out, you know.
For sure.
But I think as well, like since Romero's kind of been neutered, he's not. That's where I think the concentration. I loved when he went in for a tackle. It's just he needs that fire back. But
He does.
he's in the wrong.
It's like whenever we told Dele to kind of calm down his game. Dele was kind of a shit stirrer, got a lot of cards. And I always point there was some European match where he punched a guy in the stomach. Might have got red carded for it, but clearly after that he was told to
that was Madison with a punch in the stomach, I think.
I thought it was in Europe, but I could be wrong. It might have been Madison that he punched, but he punched somebody and it became a big.
No, Madison punched someone, I think.
Oh, well, this is way back. I'm talking years ago when Dele was still in the squad. And after that, he was never as effective. After he calmed down and they kind of took the aggression out of his game. And some players, I feel like that's an important part of their game. And you take that away, like you said, they're effectively neutered. Jamie, I like the way you worded that. Destiny saying he'd rather have Romero have 5 cards than cost us so many goals. Absolutely. Yeah. Romero got the snip, he says. It sure seems like it. It sure seems like it.
Well, remember last year playing, Romero had 1 suspension, but Basuma had 5. And what you don't want, Basuma diving at Luton and getting sent off for 2 yellows. You don't want Madison getting yellow cards for dissent because he does give it that a lot to the referees, right? Doesn't he?
You need to shut up.
If you get the unnecessary yellow cards, you should be fined by the club. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they don't do that. Maybe
they're not going to change the referee's decision because the referee's then got to admit it's wrong, and none of them do that. But you're not going to change the VR decision. Why are you doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. You don't dissent. Dissent. Diving simulation.
I know. I'm just like, what are you hoping to achieve here? Like when you go and argue with a ref, they're never going to. They're never going to be like, "Oh, you're so right. I fucked that up. Take the ball back. You're good." It's just never going to happen. All it's going to do is piss the ref off.
Gets me as well. It's like players deliberately go down injured when they're up against it because they want to stop the game. Right?
It was like that Brighton guy when he just dived. He dropped down when Madison got up. That should have been a book and everything. Like, look. You're trying to con me there. There you go.
Yeah, Madison sort of pushed him a tiny bit, and that dude went down like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, I was like, oh, do me a favor.
That Vertingham or whatever his name wasn't it? So he had this sort of, and he was a bit prickly all game, really, wasn't he? Pushing, shoving, getting it.
Maybe you need that. Maybe that's where we're lacking. We don't have very many prickly players. Remember how Mourinho said he wanted us to be. I don't want to say the word. I feel like it'll get me in trouble on this platform. But intelligent. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesdays. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't feel like we have many intelligent see you next Tuesdays in the team right now.
That's the one thing I liked about Mourinho. Like he made us a bit dirty.
Yeah, and team's kind of afraid to come play us, man. I miss that. JVG saying it was some West Brom geezer that Dele slightly punched. Yeah, he got so much stick for it that he changed. He changed his play style and he was worse off for it. Maybe the same thing's happening to Romero. It's hard to say. But fellas, we've been going for 2 hours and 4 minutos. That is quite a bit of time. Freezing. My internet's freezing. I noticed earlier, as soon as I said something bad about Levy, my internet cut out. So I thought, is he controlling this? Does he know?
No, he has dial-up, mate. He won't pay for the full Wi-Fi.
He still uses a fax machine, so it doesn't surprise me. But guys, I will say I gotta go get some things accomplished. It's my day off, but this has been quite an accomplishment. Adrian unceremoniously just left us.
Wow.
Hopefully Adrian comes back. Adrian, it was lovely having you on the show today, sir. And it was lovely having everybody on. I think we're gonna do this more often if it's okay with you, Jamie. Put the link in and just kind of get other people involved.
Yeah, chat shit, talk Spurs.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And it was really nice. So everybody be on the lookout. There were some people that I thought might have jumped in today that didn't, but hopefully we see them soon. And great talk today, everybody. I know that we're never going to agree, but it's nice to hear each other's opinions, and and to kind of, I don't know, maybe challenge your own opinions a bit. Be open to change. Be open to changing your mind. I feel like whenever you shut your mind, and you think you're right, you've got it all figured out. It's a dangerous place to be as a person. So, keep an open mind. I'm trying to. It's nice to hear everyone's opinions, even when they're different than mine. Jamie, I thought it's been a great show. Destiny said, "Big up, lads, a great show." So
thank you. No, I appreciate it. It got quite a bit heated early on, which I like because I love it. Bring on the content when people just start arguing with each other. I just love it. That's why sometimes I just watch because I feel like just a fan. But no, I appreciate like everyone in the comments. Like we're Spurs fans, we're a community. Love or hate us, we're all gonna be nice to each other as long as it's not personal. Like we always say, Colin, you can have an opinion, just don't get personal.
Exactly.
Do that off screen. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly.
I appreciate everyone and in the comments, and I think Slanky. I'm looking forward to seeing Slanky. To be fair, playing the international games, first time in 7 years, whatever it was. I'm not sure. So
definitely, that's going to be great for Solanke. That's phenomenal, and I think it's a Spurs thing where for a long time we had a lot of players in the England squad, and then there was a period of time where we had none. And it'll be nice to have some players, even if it's just Solanke right now. I think eventually Madison might get there. It'll be nice to have some players back up in the Spurs. In the England setup. Chris Peters is saying you can find Adrian here. Spurs diehard CTID. Rodney is giving us the big up. Big up, Rodney. And then there were some links I put in at the very, very beginning.
We need to make sure we say thank you to Peter.
Peter, thank you so much. Yes, 5 memberships gifted by Peter. Peter's been defending Ange to the hilt all day, even going so far as to say we don't deserve him, and maybe he should leave and go to a place where he is more appreciated. Well, we appreciate you, Peter. We're glad you're here. So thank you, man. I love Ange too. I think that he could really achieve things if we give him some time. I'm not just saying that because he gave us 5 memberships. I really, you can ask Jamie. I'm a pretty big defender of his. And
he's lying. No, I'm joking.
God damn it. No, but big up, Pete. Thank you so much for that, man. And also, I know I always say this, but big up for the work you do as a paramedic. It's important stuff. Chris Peters, could you, if you don't mind, and could you throw in the link to good old Jose's channel, if you don't mind? And then we got Johnny Bethel Green saying laters. Pete's bigging us up again. Vindaloo, who was giving us some shit. I noticed that, Vindaloo. I saw you. Appreciate you.
To be fair, that was actually quite funny, though. It was.
Absolutely. Holy shit. Look at that. We got a super sticker. Chris Peters, you son of a gun. I appreciate you, man.
So now we've got Peter as the next Spurs manager, and we've got Chris as the assistant.
Boom. I don't think I've ever gotten a super sticker before, so thank you, sir.
I have no idea what the hell super sticker is, but I'm saying
I bet you I can find out. Hold on, let's look it up. I'm gonna watch this. So through StreamYard, it doesn't show you, like, for example, who gets the memberships or what the sticker is. So let's look it up. And it's something saying cool. It looks like a pear, maybe. What is that? Anyway, it's saying cool, and it's got some head bobbing.
As long as it's not a pineapple, because pineapple, I only just found out it's for like swingers.
Oh, is it? Well, no, it's not a pineapple. Not a pineapple.
That's what
for sure. And look at this. Follow Jose here, everybody. Eltel Cockerell. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody. Thanks again, Chris Peters, for the super sticker. The memberships gifted by Pete K. We really do appreciate you guys. It helps us a ton. And as always, everybody, like I always say, be good to yourself, be good to others, and just be a fucking nice person. The world will be better if everyone's just nice. It's that simple. But yeah, Jamie, any final words for these fellas before we play them out with the intro, because we don't got an outro?
You always make me feel really crappy when you say like really nice words, like a Jerry Springer kind of thing, and I've got to try and think something off the top of my head. So, oh God.
Come on, you Spurs.
Just no. Spurs have pissed me off at the moment, so I don't want to say come on, you Spurs. Just love each other. Give someone a hug or ask someone how they're feeling, because I'm the sort of person, when I'm down, I use humor. So someone's not always going to be all right. So maybe just give someone a hug every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Chris Peters says to bring back the James Madison song. Let's see if I've got it in here. I do. I have the song, but I don't have an image of James. So the video got lost. Let me find a James Madison photo. Jamie, talk for just a second. Keep this going for just a moment.
Okay.
I gotta find this.
Yeah, so we need to think of an outro. So I need to actually get on that. Because I did the intro, I just haven't got a clue how to do the outro.
I can
So
help
if
you.
anyone's got any suggestions,
I helped Jose make his. So I helped Jose make his, so we could have one like that pretty easy.
no, but I think it'd be nice for the subscribers to choose one for us. I think it'd be quite cool. And Colin's left me like everyone else has left me today. Colin. So he's the one that's in charge of all the buttons. So otherwise, you're just going to stare at me for a little while. So how is everybody? Everyone good?
I'm back.
There we go.
It's a perfect time to end, right when the internet's going to shit. Chris Peters wants us to bring back the Keep Bench or Sell. Yeah, we absolutely will do that too. Jamie, I don't know if we've ever done that together, but it's a game I like to play.
I think I was on it before my old channel before I did it. But Colin, did we mention before we were going to do like a Spurs kind of mental health show at some point? If you guys would want to do that, but it'd be for everyone. So I think it'd be like more like a members kind of show. So you can call in and you don't have to show your face. You can say, or you can just write them in and we just discuss it. If you guys would be up for that. But yeah,
definitely. It's always something good to talk about. Mental health is something that's like there's like a stigma surrounding
massive stigma. Yeah, like I'm a big advocate for the whole mental health stuff. So I'm a mental health first aider. So if anyone wants to come on and talk about that, me and Colin are going to sort that channel out, that episode out.
Yeah, we'll put something in the community page about it, kind of gauge interest, see who would like to come on. But yeah, definitely. Yeah. Pete's saying, "Time, lads, time. Be patient." I'm with you, man. I'm ready. I'm ready because I'm done with this constant revolving door that we've had. But with that said, do have to go. Look at this. Adrian says internet went down. I get that 100%. It's happening to me too. Like I said, I think it's a targeted attack by Daniel Levy for us talking about him.
Well, he seems to like me because mine hasn't gone yet, and everyone keeps leaving me on screen, so I don't like it.
I know. I'm sorry. So with that, we'll end. Chris Peters wanted us to bring back the James Madison song, so we shall. I'll put up this image because I don't have the video anymore, and I'll play the song. And everybody, here's my beautiful singing voice.
Before we play that, can we just quickly do this one? We got mental health show, so we got that one from Chris.
Nice. Hell yeah.
And then an Arsenal fan that's always got to go a little bit too far.
You son of a gun, Vindaloo. Yeah. You're lucky. I like you, Vindaloo.
You can jump in as well because I'm sure there's at some points because you guys were Arteta out and now you're playing lovely football. I'm sure your mental health was screwed as well. So, but yeah, if you want to join in, anyone can join in. Any fan, doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. He's saying sorry. No need to be sorry, dude. You're funny. I like it. Just banter. All right, everyone. But
it's just banter.
It's just banter, mate. Okay. Well, hey, everybody, we'll play it. Don't laugh too much at this song. But it's James Madison to the tune of.
Have I heard this before? I don't think I have I?
No, but it's check it out. Listen to this. Here we go.
Okay.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.